silent.
And we're recording. We're live.
Welcome to Geekout, Freakout. We are live. Welcome to the special live edition of Geekout, Freakout.
Of the freaking out, of the geeking out.
We did a live
stuff.
one once, and that made us not able to do live things on YouTube for still another month, I think.
Are we still in lockout?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
All I wanted to do was talk shit about Bethesda. Such a turnaround from 2 years ago.
Oh, well. Luckily for you, a big part of this week's episode is talking shit about Bethesda.
One of my these are a few of my favorite things.
Did we just do the intro? Is this the intro?
Yeah.
Welcome
All right,
to Geekout, Freakout, guys.
Hey,
I'm Jeff, as always, joined by my lovely wife, Christina.
I'm lovely again.
Lovable.
Not just
my okay
what the fuck?
wife, Christina.
my adequate wife.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Well, you're my mediocre husband.
Probably true.
He
Yes.
was aware of that going into it. You gotta have some self-awareness.
And, of course, Spencer joining us also, as always.
That guy.
Sidekick extraordinaire.
I was waiting for you. There was a weird pause. I was like, I introduced you. Say something.
The original third wheel.
The original.
Those two.
So, start this. Well, this week's episode, we're going to be talking about video games, the downfall of the video game industry, perhaps even with DLCs, microtransactions, all that paid extra chopped up fucking content on the disc bullshit.
Literally no exaggeration.
Just give me the whole damn game.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it. But before that, guys, you guys like Star Wars?
I've heard of it.
Always. They sure as shit did drive all around space.
I heard that the C-3POs are the best at the Warren.
Now, we got some cool Star Wars news this week. The Han Solo movie. We got a couple of pictures tweeted. Old Ronald Howardson has been
It's not his name.
whatever has been tweeting some photos from behind the scenes to let fans in on the action and everything. He showed Donald Glover in full-on Lando Calrissian facial hair and finely parted afro.
Very strangely parted afro.
It looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, no, it looks really... I mean, it was a dream come true for me when that casting announcement was made. Mm-hmm. It didn't even seem possible how perfect that casting was in my head. And seeing that set photo, I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, even with the shit that went down with the directors leaving and Ron Howard coming in.
It sounds like the directors leaving was a good thing, considering the ideas that they publicly stated they had.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's still a lot of filming that Ron Howard intends to do left on it. But I mean, whatever fucking happens and whatever. What are you laughing at?
She's still laughing at Ronald Harold.
No, I'm just laughing at you fucking up.
Oh.
Whatever, man.
Because I love you.
I love you too. But
Wow.
You're supposed to say, I know, we're talking about Star Wars.
That's
5
fair.
minutes in, we're derailed.
Now,
Bye.
I just wanted to say that I think regardless of how bad the movie may end up being or looking, I'm even if the trailer comes out and it's just holy shit, this looks like the worst fucking movie ever made, I still can't wait to go see Donald Glover be Lando Calrissian.
I know.
That aspect of it is going to be fantastic regardless of anything else.
See him fighting over the ship and smuggling.
You think he's gonna charm some of the ladies?
Oh, I think
I'm already charmed.
he's already on it.
Now we also got Paul Bettany joining the cast just this week. Ronald Howardson tweeted a picture of Paul Bettany behind the scenes. So I think that also, like I said, lends it to the fact that there's still a lot of work that Ron wants to do on the movie. I mean, clearly that seems to indicate that he's still working on the script even, right?
Could be.
Adding another role. I mean, surely if that was a role that was in the original script, it would have been cast already.
You would think.
But who do you think Paul Bettany's playing?
The Vision.
Exactly.
He is playing the Vision.
Marvel's The Vision, starring in Star Wars: The Han Solo story.
A Marvel Star Wars story.
Remix.
We also had this past Friday was Force Friday, which is where they bring in all the new toys, and that always brings in some some little tidbits and
Considerably less disappointing than in recent memory.
yeah, I did read that. I read that. I don't really care about Force Friday. Like, I don't think that it's. I fucking love Star Wars, but like, I don't like Star Wars toys. I don't have any need for toys. As
Yeah,
a
not
fully
buying
grown
the
adult.
action figures.
Perfectly fine for collectors and adults that do like toys. Not to insult you, just not what I spend my money on.
That's Legos.
Although I do, yeah. Although I do get a lot of toys because of your mom always insisting on getting me Star Wars toys.
Well, yeah.
Every holiday.
She gets me those toys too.
Have we told you about this, Spencer?
I don't believe so.
Oh my god, yeah.
All the like still in the box Star Wars toys that are like little knick-knacky things that we have just sitting around
Yeah.
come from her mom.
Really?
Yeah, like birthdays, Easter, Christmas, fucking Halloween, whatever.
Dude, all the
It's
time.
like it's like she's like, I know Jeff likes Star Wars, so I'm gonna buy him some Star Wars toys. And it's like, thanks. And then they sit around and then
Thanks, but like maybe some towels.
exactly.
Some socks.
It's cute.
It is cute. It is cute.
is
I'm not
very
trying to just rag on you. I love your mother very much.
But they sell Star Wars towels, is all I'm saying.
yeah.
Shit.
It's like my mom
There
does
you
the
go.
same
We're putting
thing.
that on the list.
My mom does the same thing. It's just usually with somewhat practical stuff. Like it's
Like
mostly
shirts. You always get
and-
Star Wars shirts
and those tiny,
boxers.
tiny
yeah, but
little
it's
socks.
like half the time it's one of those shirts that she got. Like she got me that polo, just a black polo with an embroidered C-3PO head.
Yeah, that's
on it.
cool.
And that was
That's
a nice
practical.
shirt. But the other half of them are like really loud graphic tees that just like have a picture of Darth Vader and say some variation of "Who's your daddy" or something like that. And then it's like, okay, well that's a PJ shirt. That's what that is.
Not gonna wear
That's a
that one in
shirt that's
public.
going in the trash.
But
No one needs this.
But along with this Force Friday, we got to look at a couple of things from the Last Jedi movie, which is fast approaching. First off, Snoke's Mega Class Star Destroyer. What do you think about that design, Spencer?
It's fucking gigantic for one thing.
I like that it's real wide instead of real long like
Yeah.
the other Star Destroyers. I saw on the Star Wars website it said it's like 60 kilometers in length.
Damn.
I don't know if that means that it's way longer than that in width based on the design, but I don't know. What do you think of like, do you think that that's still like keeping, I hate the idea of Snoke has a new Star Destroyer and it's even bigger than Darth Vader's Star Destroyer. We have Star Destroyers, we had a Super Star Destroyer, but this one's a Mega Star Destroyer.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that convention. Just like, I mean, I guess we're gonna segue into it, but the Death Star being present on the art attached to one of these toys to is it Kylo Ren's TIE
Yeah,
fighter?
Kylo Ren's new fighter ship. The background of it features a Death Star. Speculation that maybe there is a third Death Star as part of the plot for The Last Jedi.
They really don't need that device.
Yeah.
They don't need that plot device. Like I was fine with Starkiller Base because like that's just what got me there.
Right.
But
But god damn it.
Tell a
Why?
story that doesn't involve a super weapon.
tell a story that doesn't involve a super weapon. Also, if the intention is to kind of mirror the original trilogy,
There was no Death Star.
there
in
was no
Empire
Death
Strikes
Star
Back.
in Empire, and it was it was far more character driven and individual driven than the other two films. And
You think that was because of a lack of Death Star? Is that what you're saying?
yeah,
Yes.
because I think sometimes in the Star Wars universe they take the concept of a big bad a little too literally.
Okay.
I think the big bad can be conflict between protagonists. I think the big bad can be just, mostly plot or dialogue based, involving a lot of smaller situations with tense settings and that adrenaline pumping,
Like
it could be a duel.
Like a Kylo Ren conflicted with himself about killing his pappy sort of situation.
Yeah, exactly. It
what you're
doesn't
saying.
have to be
Crappy.
like I want them to let these characters breathe for a minute. Let me get to know them.
So you're-
What's Poe all about?
Right.
What's
It's
Finn
like
all
the
about?
the real threat isn't Starkiller Base. The real threat is what's inside the heart of Kylo Ren as he stands on the surface of Starkiller Base.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yep.
I get what
That's
you're saying,
it.
man.
but no, I am very
As-
very cautious going into it because of that.
My thoughts are ultimately, I think that it is just artwork. I mean, toys have led us down the wrong path many times as people use that to speculate, such as the infamous Iron Man 3 Mandarin tank escape Lego playset. You remember the scene in Iron Man 3 where the Mandarin comes out in his big tank and fought Iron Man?
It's classic.
But there's plenty of other examples of that. But also, I think that it is just art because it's a fucking stupid idea to bring in another Star Destroyer or another Death Star.
Yeah.
And even if they do bring in another Death Star, though, the other counterpoint to that is, what about the old expanded universe that we love and cherish so much, which is always forever introducing new planet-killing super weapons like the Darksaber, the Sun Crusher, the fucking, is it the Eclipse, whatever, the Emperor's personal big black mega Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't necessarily... I get what point you're trying to make, but we came to those books because we didn't think there was ever going to be more Star Wars.
right.
I think we were willing to accept a lot more in that fashion and at that time than now. We get to pick and choose now. We get to say, okay, maybe this isn't the best decision for immediate Star Wars cinematic canon, you know?
Okay, here's my one last defense of the possibility of another Death Star.
Okay, hit me with it.
The prequels were not as good as the original trilogy. Maybe it's because the prequels
God damn it.
didn't have any Death Stars or super weapons of any kind. Now, I know the plans for the Death Star were in Episode 3.
Or
but
was it because George Lucas thought he was a writer?
No, actually, I think it was because there wasn't a Death Star.
Oh,
If-
my God.
If we had had Anakin Skywalker pod racing across the surface of a Death Star, might have been a lot more exciting and enthralling of a movie, is all that I'm saying.
God damn
We
it.
also had...
I carved this Death Star out of a Japur snippet
well,
with one fatal flaw.
One thing that I was thinking of that would be cool to throw people through a loop is...
Is another Death Star?
No. What if they do a force-based super weapon? Like, because we have the Darth Vader line, you know, don't be so proud of this technological terror. The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force. There are some Force abilities in the EU that we've never seen on screen, like the Thought Bomb.
Yeah.
Or even like a battle meditation being used to coordinate a massive fleet on like an absolutely unstoppable level. Just as an idea, I think it would be cool to see something like that in one of the movies, like treated as a super weapon. How do we stop it? But it's actually like just a really fucking cool display of just how deadly and powerful the Force can be.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. Honestly, I liked that. Did you see Fantastic Beasts?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
I mean, maybe the viewers have. Can you make
There's
your
a
point?
similar. Well, yeah, but there's a similar point to be made in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, because the big bad essentially is the concept of when you oppress or suppress.
Is it Colin Farrell? Is he the big bad in that movie?
Yeah, but it's Colin Farrell who's secretly Johnny Depp, and that is true.
Oh, huh.
There's a Johnny Depp reveal at the end. Colin Farrell's been pretending to be a member of the Magical Congress of the United States of America.
Okay.
But he's in fact Grindelwald, who is played by Johnny Depp.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he transmogrified himself.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
If I was Johnny Depp, I'd transmogrify myself too.
But the whole point is they're chasing around this obscurial, which is what happens when you suppress your magical abilities. Instead of learning how to control them, you just become this unbridled force of complete magical destruction. So I liked that as a plot device, so I'd be cool with that. I just don't want another big machine that can blow up a planet. Like, they even up the ante with Starkiller Base. It's like, this can destroy an entire planetary system. Okay, fine, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Just make it different.
Just make it
More
more
different.
different.
And again, I loved The Force Awakens. I watch it probably on like a monthly basis. I really watch that movie a lot, probably because of that opening scene when he stops a blaster bolt. I almost came in my pants in the
yeah,
theater.
dude, that's a really good scene.
But in any case,
We also got a trailer for Rebels Season 4, the final season of Star Wars Rebels.
is it the final season?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
They announced at Comic-Con that it was going to be the final season. They were going to end the story.
Well, I like this trend of writers knowing where the end point is. It always
Yeah.
results in a higher quality show.
I agree 100%. I mean, shit. There's a lot of cool shit in that trailer. Seeing all of the Mandalorian families come together, united under the presumably Sabine is the Mandalore because she has the Darksaber, and they establish in season 3 that no one's united all the clans in a very long time, but in order to do so, you should be wielding the Darksaber.
Yeah.
The last person to do it was Darth Maul in Clone Wars, and he had the Darksaber as well. So she goes on a cool personal quest to acquire the Darksaber and learn how to use it. And I hope that they finally use the phrase "the Mandalore" and that's a title that she gets. But that shot of all the Mandalorians kneeling and all the different colors and patterns on their armor, like seeing so many
crests and
and then she says that something about don't do this for your family, but do this for all of Mandalore, which is like such a cool fucking idea that it's that we finally get to see on screen in some form, that like Mandalorians are loyal first to their family and then to their larger house and lastly to their planet and to their race as a people. But that, like, under desperate times, in this case, the conquest of their planet by the Empire.
Yeah.
They'll all unite, and once united, they're a pretty fucking deadly force. Also, maybe we'll get to see a Boba Fett. Would you be down with a little Boba Fett?
I don't see how they get out of Rebels with this Mandalorian storyline without
having a Boba Fett.
Well, yeah. I mean, it seems like it seems like they're creating an opportunity for themselves that would be too big of a misstep to pass up,
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they decided, okay, we're going to do a Mandalore storyline, the first thing out of somebody's mouth in that writer's room should have been, okay, so do we introduce Boba Fett here?
So where's Boba Fett?
Yeah, exactly.
Some other cool shit is the Loth Wolves. All the shit with the wolves was hinted as being tied to, by Dave Filoni hinted that that's tied to Ahsoka. And
shit.
He showed off a bunch of artwork at Comic-Con that had Ahsoka with a bunch of wolves that look like those.
Oh, fuck, dude.
So we
I love Ahsoka.
We'll find
She's
out
the best.
what happened to her after the Sith Temple collapsed on her at the end of season 2.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think that'll be.
Maybe she is now a wolf.
I think that she's dead.
Stop.
But that she'll come back as a Force ghost in some form. Maybe not even like we've seen the Force ghosts in the past, but like you
Force
said,
wolf.
Actually like reincarnated in some extent as a wolf. Or her spirit
don't want her
merged
to be dead.
with a wolf, or that owl thing that followed her around in season 2 as well.
That
was shown in a lot of his artwork.
Or an Ewok. She could come back as an Ewok.
Stop. No.
Hey man, I mean anything as long as we get some finality to Ahsoka. One thing that I love about Dave Filoni is that he, like, the stuff that he introduces and gets us excited for, he delivers like closure when closure's needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He doesn't like his whole, even with the Clone Wars that he was in charge of getting canceled before he could finish the stories he wanted to tell with the Clone Wars. He still, with Rebels, then wrapped up the whole Darth Maul situation with the greatest episode of Star Wars Rebels, where Darth Maul faces Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ugh.
So I feel like there's no chance that we are left hanging after the end of this season as far as the fate of all of our characters.
Yeah, I'd say.
So I mean, what do you think? Kanan's gonna die, right? Kanan is dead as a fucking doornail.
Kanan has to die.
No.
Kanan is 100% going to die.
Kanan must die so that others may live. Or so the others all may die.
But the question is, what about Ezra? Do you think Ezra is also going to die or fall to the dark side? Or
I think most likely he'll fall to the dark side.
do you think they'll end the series on a down note like that? There is another one in development.
Yeah, I knew that there was one in development. I think, so if we don't get closure at the end of Rebels for some things, it'll be continued in the next one. Like they did with Rebels.
Like bring Ezra's character over
Right.
in a different context or something.
Bold prediction.
Yeah.
Ezra is Supreme Leader Snoke.
I think that's been a fan theory for a while, actually.
Oh, has it?
Has it really?
Everybody, people have had fan theories that Supreme Leader Snoke is fucking everybody to ever exist in the current canon and the Legends canon, like,
I guess you're right.
Fucking
All right.
Supreme Leader Snoke's that elephant-faced motherfucker standing in the background of Jabba's fucking palace. Supreme Leader Snoke is that dancing lady with 6 fucking tits. You know,
Oh my
whatever.
god.
Supreme Leader Snoke is the fucking Rancor's caretaker who cried when Luke Skywalker killed the Rancor and decided that he's gonna ruin the entire Skywalker family.
That sounds like
Supreme
the
Leader
most likely
Snoke
one.
is Kaiser Soze.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, damn. A Kevin Spacey fan, I figured you do.
Who is it?
It's the usual suspects, man.
Oh, I've never seen that movie.
Oh, wow. Well,
I don't watch a lot of crime movies and stuff.
put it on the list. I don't think I'd describe it as a crime movie.
I thought that it was.
Well, it's kind of a misdirection. But anyway,
Fair enough, I'll watch it.
Off
I've
the rails.
also never watched The Departed, and I've heard that's like must watch.
it's a really, really good movie, but if you're easily annoyed by Marky Mark, you're going to get annoyed.
I kind of have a soft spot for Marky Mark.
Then
dude.
you'll really fucking like this movie, man. Matt Damon, Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I've heard it's the bee's knees.
It's got a good soundtrack, too. Anyway,
News in the DC side of things. We got trailer for the new season of Gotham. We get little kid Bruce Wayne putting on the
Oof.
bat suit. What'd you think about that bat suit, Christina?
Woof.
I'll never forgive
That's all
you
you
guys for
need.
trying to get me to watch this television show with
So
you.
bad.
Hey, look,
it
man.
looks so bad.
And you guys would try to convince me that it was worth watching. Like, oh,
It's
look
not
at,
me-
look
it,
at
like-
Jada Pinkett Smith's
Yeah, Jada
character.
Pinkett Smith's character was worth watching, and like it started off the rails, but it's gotten so far away from the rails that I no longer watch it or enjoy it.
Yeah. We
But-
haven't watched it since the second season, right?
Yeah, but the
No.
the actor who plays the Penguin is really fucking good.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I'll give you that.
He's an amazingly talented
He's so
actor.
good.
I like that guy.
He brings a lot of craziness and weight to that role, and I like it a lot. And also,
I like
Edward Enigma's
yeah.
performance is just fine.
I think he's good.
I just hate.
I think
a little-
he's weird.
I think
and
Spencer
that's
agrees. It's a little heavy-handed.
It's way too on the nose. That Penny Arcade comic sums
think
it up
that's-
perfectly. Hello, my name is Riddler R. Riddler. Like, he
think-
drinks from a mug with the question mark on it.
I think it's perfect.
In the first fucking episode.
He's here's a riddle for you guys.
Here's a here I have a riddle for
I like
you.
it. I think it works well for the Riddler.
Works well at being shitty.
He's
Whatever.
better. You know, my least favorite version of the Riddler. This is a hot take, guys. The Riddler that's in the Arkham game series.
Yeah. Oh my
I
god.
fucking love
Unbearable.
those games so much. And the Riddler plays a big role in all 4 of those games. I fucking hate that version of the Riddler.
Me too.
I absolutely fucking despise
Actually.
him.
I didn't even know he really had much of a presence in the game.
Oh
except
my
for
God,
the
yeah, dude.
trophies.
Well, even like his voice parts in the trophies are so
Ugh.
fucking obnoxious.
That's true.
And like not obnoxious in the way that I know the Riddler is supposed to be obnoxious, if that makes sense.
It's like it's not like grating or like off-putting in a way that you want it to be. It's just like,
It's
God, will
just
you shut
bad.
the I will murder you.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just because
exactly.
I'm not
Why-
afraid of you in any way.
Why are you hiding these question marks and like these little cages on the top of the roofs, and I have to fucking steer a batarang through an obstacle course?
Oh
to
my
get it,
god,
like-
it's so
Like,
infuriating.
what is your point? Why do
Meanwhile-
you exist? What are you even doing?
Meanwhile, I'm trying to kill the man bat with a fucking tank, and you're just
Yeah,
like, come
exactly.
get my trophies, Batman.
You'll have to compete in this race with your new Batmobile, Batman.
Ho, ho,
Why?
ho, ho.
Why are you making me race? That doesn't make any sense.
I have given you 6 bean bags and 1 cornhole board. You must get 4 out of 6 cornholes. Is that what the points are called?
That's pretty much it.
It's like, God, shut up, Edward.
He makes you do everything aside from solve fucking riddles. Is the real kicker.
I have created a new kart racer for you.
Batman, come beta test my new indie Steam hit. I expect to green light it next week, Batman.
oh no.
God.
Now we also got.
I'm sorry.
Do you like that one?
Yeah.
We also
I liked that whole experience.
we also got Batgirl. Some information about Batgirl. WB, Warner Brothers. Apparently, we're not going to do the Batgirl movie until Joss Whedon put his foot down.
Because if Wonder Woman showed us anything, it's that super heroine films just don't work.
God.
But I guess he was
Damn it.
like, hey, if you guys want me involved in this DC cinematic universe at all, you're gonna fucking let me make Batgirl. And so they were like, well, okay, fucking fine, man. Like, geez.
Jeez.
I think that's cool. I think that he put his future there on the line in a way. You know what I mean? Like, made the studio call his bluff. They could have easily been like, well, then fucking fine, because clearly they have no qualms with getting way cheaper, way worse directors to make their movies.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a talent like Joss Whedon and it's a studio like the Warner Brothers
the
working on the DC Disasterverse, you're gonna have a lot of pull. And he's talked about is it Batwoman or Batgirl?
Batgirl.
Batgirl. That's what I thought.
Two different. I know where that comes from. It's like kind of insulting calling her a girl. Batwoman's a separate character.
I knew
entirely.
that. But he's talked about Batgirl for years. Like,
Yeah.
He's openly said for a long time that he'd love to make a Batgirl movie. But as it turns out, Jeff, as we're about to find out, he might not be worthy.
That's right, because he's a misogynistic fucking pig.
Fucking rat fuck.
So, a lot of controversy last week and this week. Joss Whedon's ex-wife came out with an essay, basically that he cheated on her, had an affair with her, apparently like often throughout their marriage. Pretty much as soon as he started getting some success in Hollywood, and some other people have taken that to be that he is a misogynist as a result. And that there should be no weight put into how often he's celebrated as, doing all the work that he's done.
As a feminist.
Yeah, as a feminist and with strong female characters and like everything he's ever fucking done. And I don't know, man. I mean,
let's get this out of the way. That's a horrible thing to do to a person. You described it to me earlier as the first step in people's thought process who are calling for a great mass exodus of Joss Whedon fans is that cheating on someone is itself an act of abuse and manipulation. There's some truth to that.
sure,
For
absolutely.
sure.
There's absolutely truth
but
to that.
you can't make a jump from that to he is a misogynist and has done nothing as a result because of these decisions that he made in his relationship. Like, people are generally equal parts good and bad.
Right.
And you hope that the good outweighs the bad is
Right.
essentially the human condition. And you can't just take the fact that he cheated on his wife all the fucking time like a douchebag and throw away everything else. Like, that's a shitty situation to put someone in that everyone has put someone in.
Yeah.
Like,
in some way or another, certainly. No, I agree completely. Like, it in no way, shape, or form has any bearing at all on his ability to be a feminist, I feel like. It's ultimately what it boils down to. And certainly does not in any way, shape, or form undermine the characters that he's created and the stories that he's told. I just think that it's, like you said, I think it's certainly unfortunate that it happened, and like that sucks. He apologized for it, but like,
obviously that's going to affect any number of things in his mind or in her mind about what a relationship is, how to recover, that kind of stuff, all the stuff that goes along with infidelity or some sort of fissure in a relationship.
I don't think that, like, I don't know. I don't think that cheating is an intentionally abusive action. In regards to,
I think it can be.
yes, certainly.
I think
I mean, you
I think
consciously make the decision to do so, knowing that you're with another person.
But that's not intent.
I guess to clarify, what I mean is that
you are definitely complicit in the pain that is caused.
yes, but that more often than not, I think that's not like. I mean, there may be some situations where someone's like, "I fucking hate my wife. You know what I'm gonna do about it? Fuck someone else," and that's certainly intentional. But there's also situations in which, like, though it still is wrong that the other person isn't even in your mind at all whenever the cheating occurs and it happens. And an
that's-
opportunity presents
That's
itself.
fucking shitty,
and
though.
you make the wrong decision.
Like-
That is shitty, but what I'm saying is that that's not intentionally abusive. He had no... there could have been...
There would almost be an argument for
That's
misogyny
fair,
at that point.
but
almost.
it's still
But
mentally, emotionally abusive, period.
Yes, it is.
But I do not think that it affects all the great things he's done for feminism
Right.
at all.
And certainly, I mean, feminists are capable of cheating.
Exactly.
Even a female feminist could cheat on her male partner, and that wouldn't, in any way, shape, or form, change her. Like, it's not like he's like lying about being a feminist.
that was actually a
Right.
big point of Gamergate when it happened.
What?
Was one of the, I think it was Zoe Quinn,
Yeah.
had cheated on Nathan Grayson.
Okay.
And they were like, well, she can't be a feminist because look what she did. She manipulated and lied to this guy and everything. And it's like, well, no, that's not. She can absolutely still. It's fucking stupid. God, I can't believe I just brought it up.
People
regret it.
fucking make mistakes.
People fucking
Yeah.
make
And-
mistakes.
Everyone
and
makes
also,
mistakes.
Situations can be a lot more complicated than that. It's not even always just. I mean, like, we don't know the details of the situation, but like, they could have been completely unhappy in their marriage. You know what I mean?
Right.
He could have.
It's
he
still
could have-
wrong.
It is still wrong. I'm not saying that it's not wrong, but they could have been completely unsatisfied and unhappy. He could have genuinely fallen in love with someone else. Like, she could have been doing other things that I mean, there's just
Right.
a million things you don't know. I find it highly unlikely that it's as simple as like, oh, I'm a big shot Hollywood director now. You know what? I hate women. In order to prove it, I'm gonna fuck this intern. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
I find
yeah,
it
yeah.
very unlikely that it was anything like that would warrant this kind of a reaction. And ultimately, it's his personal life. Like,
That's
Right,
where
it's-
I think
yeah.
that's where I am with it. Like, I think she has full reign to hate the shit out of Joss
Absolutely.
Whedon
Yeah,
for
absolutely,
the
dude.
rest of their natural lives. Like,
yeah. If I was her, I'd be like, fucking fuck that guy. I wouldn't watch his damn movies.
yeah,
For
Right.
sure.
but like, I don't know. I've always had a sort of a problem separating art from artist, but I don't even feel that inclination. I don't feel the need to separate. Like, this doesn't sully Joss Whedon in my eyes, except to say that, like, well, he's done some shitty things that I've also done, as so
Yeah,
as every
right.
other
That's-
person
yeah,
that I
he's,
know.
he's not perfect.
That's yeah. I
It
mean,
makes him more human to me.
yeah.
Like-
Like you said, there's tons of. I mean, if we were to be like, well, we can never support any artist who ever cheated on their significant other in any fashion, then I'm pretty confident we would have a massive short supply
Yeah.
of artists of any kind.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it is unfortunately a common thing to have happen at some point
Yes.
in relationships and whatnot. But no, you know what? Buffy the Vampire Slayer still fucking kicks ass and is a badass female icon, and I think he's the fucking best, and I can't wait to watch Batgirl. Now, we also got DiCaprio. Is he a misogynist?
Maybe, kind of.
I don't know anything about his personal life.
The Pussy Posse is what I know about his
Oh
personal
shit! I
life.
forgot about that. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. No,
What?
I did.
I don't know anything
I
about
was
this.
just trying to make a comical, actually not related segue. But you're right. I forgot about the Pussy Posse.
What is that?
He has been a member along with Tobey Maguire and a few other people from their era of something that they called the Pussy Posse, where they just
They just tried to fuck as many people as they could.
yeah.
I didn't know Tobey Maguire could.
Oh
I
my
know, right?
God! Well, probably with a lot of heavy lifting from Leo.
And maybe
Like, I
lot
imagine
of
Leonardo
crying.
DiCaprio is a pretty decent wingman.
I don't know. After the first Spider-Man, a lot of girls wanted that upside down kiss.
That's true.
from him though, like Jesus.
He was Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean,
There's no
I
there's no
get
way.
it. I'm sure he makes his ugly crybaby face during sex, but
You know how there's some dudes who you look like, because there's no way to universally tell, but there's some dudes you look at, it's like, I bet he has dick problems.
you think
Like maybe it's
Yeah?
not all that he wants it to be.
Tobey Maguire has some issues in that department?
I think maybe he's maybe an inch and a half short. Like, nothing too awful, but like,
It's fine. Like, it does the job.
but he's
Maybe.
never he's never
he's
seen
more-
a pornographic film, amateur or professional, where like his dick is represented.
But it's probably something where like it's more of a problem in his head than it even really is.
Yeah,
In like actual,
because he's good at what he
technique.
does, and he's experienced, and
He works hard for it.
Yeah, and they're always happy, but there's always that thing like, oh man,
I bet he's bounced it out. Like I bet he can go down on you. Like I mean, like nobody's business.
oh yeah,
You know what I mean? But
yeah.
the point is,
Good
Leonardo,
Up
God.
and away, Dick.
fly, Dick,
Fly.
But Leonardo DiCaprio, WB is courting Leonardo DiCaprio for the role of the Joker in the Martin Scorsese produced Joker spinoff movie. What do you think about old Leo DiCap as the Joker, guys?
I want
him in every movie.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. But if we separate the script and everything we know about it, and just isolate the idea of Leo as the Joker,
Right.
that's something I'd go see. I really
Yeah.
would. Like, it sounds like a joke, like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio is the Joker. He's a really good fucking actor.
He is.
And I've seen him do Jack Nicholson, like, just in passing on YouTube and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
he can be incredibly creepy. We saw his angry face in Django Unchained.
Yeah,
He was
dude. That's what I was
very-
gonna say. As the Candyman, you think he'll have a moment if he accepts the role and films the movie? He'll have a moment like him breaking that glass and continuing the scene. I want it to be topped. I want it to be like the batarangs really fucking cut his fucking face wide open, and he now has a permanent Chelsea smile.
and he just goes through it.
But god damn it, he just kept on fucking acting.
Yeah.
He actually fell into a pit of chemicals
The screams
that
you-
bleached his skin and turned his hair green.
The screams you hear in the background are of, like, the set crew. All just fucking terrified. No, but I think it could be good. I just don't think this adaptation could be good.
Right.
It's the best news we've heard about the movie yet.
I'll
for
give you
sure.
that. I'll give you that, yeah.
I mean, even better than Martin Scorsese producing it.
I just want to see where he takes it now, but I
Yeah.
still think that I'm going to leave ultimately disappointed with the fact that it's even happening in this manner.
Yeah.
I went from please don't make this movie to a you know what I mean?
Like, I have to watch this movie. Because
Nah, I mean, it's like we'll wait and
actually
see.
you do, because it's Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's how I felt about
So
the
we're
Dark
gonna
Tower
watch it.
when McConaughey got cast as the Man in Black. I was like, well, if that's just not fucking perfect, god damn it.
But that movie still ended up being able to suck, right?
Oh, it was able to suck, but Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey pulled as much goddamn weight as they possibly could. God bless them.
Just wasn't enough.
Just wasn't enough.
blame it on the source material.
Fucking Akiva Goldsman, man. I blame it on Akiva Goldsman, and I blame it on making a Dark Tower movie at all in the first place.
We also got some information about the live-action DC Titans television series, the Teen Titans, but it's just called Titans because they're casting adults. Detective Amy Rohrbach is being cast. She's a character from the 90s Nightwing solo run in which Dick Grayson joins the Bloodhaven police force. And Detective Amy Rohrbach is basically like the only other not corrupt cop on the force and becomes Dick Grayson's partner and begins to suspect that, like, hey, this guy never sleeps, and I think maybe the criminals that we're trying to lock up during the day, he's beating unconscious at night. It's basically the plot.
Okay.
Wow, great plot.
I like it.
But I think it's cool. I mean, that's like a really, really fucking well received and well regarded like comics run. It was kind of the moment that people like really bought into Nightwing and Dick Grayson as his own person. Like both the plot being about him like stepping out of the shadow of the bat, and also the quality of the comic itself. Readers were finally be like, oh shit, like we don't need Batman in these comics.
Yeah, this is something I can get behind without Bruce Wayne.
So it's cool of them to base it on that. They also cast, what was his name? Brenton Thwaites as Dick Grayson.
Great job.
He's been in a whole bunch of surely great movies that I've never seen. Oculus, The Giver, Gods of Egypt. I mean, that was a great movie, right? Everybody loved that.
Oh, Jesus.
Pirates of the Caribbean, whatever, the newest one. Just
Who cares?
classic pieces of film. I've never seen him act
My favorite
before.
movies are The Boondock Saints and Citizen Kane.
Never seen him act before personally, but he looks the part. Like, I've looked up some pictures of him. He's got the long hair. Dick Grayson usually has, longer black hair.
And all the movies you just mentioned are like they're pretty constricted into their direction and where the writing has put him. So I don't know if he's gonna have a chance to shine until Titans.
Yeah. The biggest question is, I don't know how familiar you are, guys, with the Nightwing fandom, and I'm not saying that I am as that I put as much weight into this part of the Nightwing fandom, but it is important to the fan base as a whole, is how good his ass is going to look in the outfit.
You're way into that. Don't you fucking try to tell me.
It's become like a comic trope with the character to, like, for artists, especially on covers, to put him in poses that female characters would normally put into, showing off, like, their ass.
Is that why I've seen that? Okay, I just learned a lot just now.
Did you?
I've seen out of context panels of like Nightwing's just
butt,
shiny
like
fucking
shining
ass
with like sparkles on it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's playing off that. It's a big part of it.
That's great.
And it's also been done.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, for all the female fans, all the gay dude fans, like it is like a totally accepted, like they 100% embrace it.
Awesome.
And it is really, really cool. They do it in Injustice 1 too, like his poses and his outfit, just by far well more thought put into his ass than was put into the other male characters' asses.
We've got Nightwing ass physics specifically.
Yeah. So that'll be the real test, is how well his butt cheeks look in that rubber suit.
It's too much.
Is it too much? Too
Yeah.
much ass? We also got what is this? I'm getting an update here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the latest in Batwatch 2K17 017
17.
Batgate. The newest reports are that the Batman standalone movie will in fact be a Batman standalone movie that is not related to the DC universe at large and does not star Ben Affleck as Batman.
For those of you keeping count, this puts us exactly where we were 3 weeks ago.
But we
Also
flip-flopped
a week ago and 2
dozen
weeks
times.
ago.
Exactly.
So I'm sure we'll be back next week with more news on Batgate 2K17 017.
Batwatch.
We also got Ed Skrein, or Screen, how do you pronounce that?
I've always said Scrine, but I don't know.
What's he been in? The name sounds familiar, but I can't picture him in anything at all.
Game of Thrones, and he was Ajax in Deadpool,
Who is Ajax?
the main bad guy.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The guy who was turning him in the first place.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So this
Now I'm
guy
here.
was cast in the Hellboy movie as I don't have it jotted down here, so I don't know. Detective, some Japanese
A member
guy.
of the BRPD, right?
Yeah.
But he was Japanese.
Yeah, it's a Japanese character in the comics, and they cast a white guy in the role.
Surprise.
But this is really cool. This week, the actor Ed Skrein was like, you know what, or Skrine or whatever, was like, I'm stepping down from it. I'm not gonna do it. This is actually bullshit that they cast me as this role. They need to fucking cast an Asian.
Which is always nice to see.
that actually is a surprise.
And I definitely give him the benefit of the doubt,
that
honestly.
one.
That was his motivation and not something else.
Well, yeah, because a lot of times when I don't believe Ed Skrein is super familiar with the Hellboy comics. So when they said,
Right.
"Hey, we've got a part for you in this Hellboy movie," you're playing a detective in some weird police department from blah blah blah, that he was just like, okay, yeah, cool, that's fine. I doubt
And
that
then
he
saw
specific
some of the controversy
Yeah.
about himself and was like, well, shit, dude, I don't want to.
Yeah, I give him the benefit of the
I
doubt.
didn't know I was whitewashing, dude.
I
Hold
saw,
on, man.
yeah, I saw a lot of people on Reddit who are like, "Oh, so he backs out when he finds out that people don't like it." It's like, no, maybe perhaps he didn't realize that this character is definitely Japanese,
Yeah.
or at least didn't realize, because comics are so weird that it's definitely always been Japanese. There's not a white iteration of this character.
Sure.
Right.
Seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, if they told me, if I got a call, at least, as not an actor, and they're like, you want to be in the new Hellboy movie? You play a fucking female Asian. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I guess, man. I know I've expressed my opinions many times that I think it's terrible when y'all do that in the movies, see Ghost in the Shell, but like, yeah, I want to be in this Hellboy movie. Hell yeah.
Maybe we're whitewashing tastefully. Tasteful
Jesus
whitewashing.
Christ.
Now we also got some news from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fucking Funko Pop released some pictures for a new what do you call their things? Are they figures?
Yeah,
Vinyl
pop
figures.
figures.
Just a vinyl guy.
I
They look like bobbleheads whose heads don't fucking bobble.
I believe if you say pop
yeah.
vinyls, that people will completely understand what you're talking about.
It's a new pop vinyl for the Grand Master, but it's in his supposedly celestial form, where he looks like a bunch of orange stars with eyes.
Everyone's losing their goddamn minds as if this is gigantic information, but it appears to just be confirming something that we've all been on the same wavelength about.
Yeah, I mean, I've like ever since fucking the first Guardians of the Galaxy and the Collector, I was like, oh yeah, that's a celestial. And then they showed the Grand Master, and they had the same fucking little chin thing going on, and I was like, yeah, for sure, they're both celestials then, just like in the comics. But, but apparently it's a
wait, Jeff, there are comics?
Yeah.
Where did I miss this?
It's like a book with that you can look at.
Oh, it sounds boring. It's like a book that you can look at? Took me a second.
They're not real pictures, they're drawn though, is the thing.
Oh,
Oh, you
yeah.
mean like drawings?
Yeah. So yeah, Grand Master is a celestial. Fucking who cares? Of course he is. We also got a better look at Iron Man's reactor from Avengers 4.
There's such an air of good job, doofus, about that.
Way to go, comics news out websites. We also got to look at Iron Man's arc reactor from Avengers 4. And this is really interesting. We talked about this a few episodes ago, because there was like a kind of a little snippet of it.
Yeah, there was
but
a
now we got
photo.
a super close-up look, and like, for sure, that is not fucking Tony Stark technology, right?
Oh yeah, and
No.
for sure. With the weird, like, I don't know, design of the casing on it, and with the intentional greenish tint of it.
Yeah,
it's
and
almost
even just like
it's
the
almost,
diamond shape, we've only ever seen, I believe, the circular ones.
Well, no, yeah,
Yeah.
but I was saying that it definitely holds up the idea that it's alien technology, just because that's symbolism that we are trained to associate with alien. Green and weird curvy stuff and
Right.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
So speculation, why do you think he needs an arc reactor again in the first place?
Because some alien fucked him up.
Do you think Thanos fucking
Maybe.
gives him a once over and leaves him to the point that he needs another arc reactor?
Maybe. That would be really cool.
So
Well, the original one was for such a specific purpose that I don't know.
Right,
They could go anywhere.
the original arc reactor, if you remember from the first Iron Man movie,
I don't.
okay, well, it was in place because he got bombed and there was shrapnel that they couldn't remove from inside of his heart. And,
Oh, okay.
and it would move through his bloodstream and kill him in a set amount of time. So he developed the arc reactor, which created like a magnetic pull on the shrapnel, basically, to keep it in place so that it couldn't move through his bloodstream and kill him.
Okay.
That was the whole point of the arc reactor.
Great.
And then the added benefit was it produced its own energy. It could power the prototype Mark I Iron Man army he made to escape the terrorists, and then subsequently went on to power all the other Iron Man armors.
Sure.
And then in Iron Man 3, was it 3 where he gets it removed? Or 2?
I think it's Iron Man 3 where he gets it removed, because Iron Man 2 had that whole thinly veiled alcoholism
Right.
storyline.
In Iron Man 3, he eventually is able to undergo a medical operation in China, I think he goes to, where they are able to remove the shrapnel from his body, so he subsequently has the arc reactor removed as well.
Okay.
So then it becomes the arc reactor is just a part of the armor when he's wearing the armor. It's not stuck on his chest forever.
Okay.
But this one is embedded in his shirt. It is stuck in his chest again. You want to know my theory?
What's your theory?
Thanos uses the time gem to turn back the operation on his heart so that the shrapnel's back in place.
That's good. That's good.
And he, along with perhaps even Rocket, have mere moments to scrap together a fucking alien arc reactor
Okay.
and shove it into his chest hole as quickly as possible.
If that happens, I'm gonna be so happy that you called that. That's
That
a
would be
brilliant
cool.
idea. The idea of
That's way more
of the
plausible
only-
than like, oh no, Thanos punched me so hard in the chest that I need an arc reactor again. Right? I mean, like,
I've just
That's
replaced a
fair.
hole in my chest cavity with some alien technology.
and I think that maybe that hints at the possibility that Thanos might use the time gem to like turn back any number of characters, like abilities and advancements and stuff. I think that'll be an interesting thing to see. Like, imagine being able to like turn back the Hulk to before he ever got control over the
Yeah.
Hulk side of him, or turn back Scarlet Witch to prior to when she could control her powers even remotely adequately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
I think
So-
we're gonna see Quicksilver again. I think that makes a lot of sense.
There's just, I don't know. I mean,
True. When you talk about Thanos having the gauntlet and the gems, there's literally
Yeah,
That's the whole point. Is that there's
the
literally
fully-
an infinite amount of things that could
exactly.
happen.
The fully powered Infinity Gauntlet with all of the gems can literally do fucking anything conceivable, which is cool. It gives them the freedom to do absolutely whatever the fuck they want,
Yeah.
which I think is really fucking cool.
And I don't think they'd pull their punches with this movie either. I think they'll go wacky as opposed to keeping it, as much as I hate this word, grounded.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of grounded,
Well,
that was a good fucking segue, Spencer.
Hey, you're welcome, man. It's what I do.
The X-Men Dark Phoenix movie, which previously promised the Dark Phoenix storyline being told for the second time in movies, because we all loved it the first time in X-Men 3, everybody's favorite X-Men. They promised
that's the subtitle
They promised
to
the
it.
Shi'ar Empire, which is like in space, and the whole Dark Phoenix storyline is set in space. It's a fucking space bird. They all go to space, but the director said that this is going to be a more grounded take on the Dark Phoenix story, which basically means we're not fucking going to space. Literally, the only thing interesting about this movie that could have been interesting, I feel like, isn't even going to fucking happen now.
Yeah.
I feel like that comment is all but trying to cover up speculation that it was going to go intergalactic like Guardians of the Galaxy, because it was getting a lot of good press.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, they're doing that. And he was like, shit, I need to temper expectations. So it's going to be more grounded.
And I don't
So
think
it's gonna be
Sophie
more
Turner has
boring.
the range to play Jean Grey in Dark Phoenix.
Jesus, no. I haven't seen her as Jean Grey. I literally haven't seen fucking Apocalypse. That was the first one she
No.
was in, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking not, man. You couldn't pay me to see that garbage. Speaking of garbage, Sony's Spider-Man-less Spider-Verse. We got another new property announced for it, or speculation at least. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but apparently they've been like working on a screenplay and stuff for everybody's fucking favorite Spider-Man sidekick, Nightwatch.
What? Oh.
Tell me what you know about Nightwatch, Spencer.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, really, Christina? You love Nightwatch, right?
Who dat is?
Here, let me. Okay, I'm gonna pull a picture up of Nightwatch actually, because this will be really funny. Spencer, tell me who this is a picture of that you're looking at.
No way.
Who is that?
How did they just rip off Spawn? Like, how are they able to put Spawn
What are you talking
into...
about? Whoa, dude. There is no way that looks anything remotely like Spawn. Let me tell you about Nightwatch's powers, okay? Nightwatch has this suit that gives him super strength, super agility, and super durability, but the really cool thing is his big giant red cape.
No, you're fucking kidding
He can
me.
control subconsciously, so it can take different forms. It can act defensively or offensively of its own accord.
Speaking of offensively, this is fucking offensive.
That doesn't sound like
believe-
Here's
anyone I
another
know.
picture of Nightwatch. That's actually Spawn. Yeah, Nightwatch is a fucking early 90s Spider-Man sidekick that
Stupid.
nobody gives a shit about, that is a straight fucking ripoff of Spawn.
Yeah, that's egregious.
Even down to the whole being able to manipulate his cape and everything. When he came out in the comics, fans were like, this is just a fucking ripoff of Spawn, dude. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And like literally the only cool thing about him, his origin is at least a cool setup for an origin, okay? So Dr. Kevin Trench is a doctor in New York City who one day witnesses a superhero in his super suit fighting against these like invisible assassins that like
That must have looked crazy.
they become visible. They have like a cloaking thing. Like he's able to see them, but then they go invisible, then they become visible again, then they're invisible again, right?
Yeah.
And they're
Sure.
they do
right there.
They totally, because of their like cloaking technology, they're able to overtake the superhero and they fucking kill him.
Okay.
Dr. Kevin Trench runs over to try to revive the superhero, removes his mask to see the level of his injuries, and it's his own self, but much older.
Whoa.
Nobody cares.
But much older.
Yeah, no,
don't
I
know.
get.
I mean,
But
I think
we heard it.
did you hear me?
Aside from being a Spawn ripoff from the Dumb Powers, like, I mean, that's a cool, like, opening 15 minutes to a movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, you'd be like, oh, holy fuck, okay, how does this time travel shenanigans happen?
It's not gonna be
that's
good
fine,
though.
but
That's
I'm,
the thing.
I'm still caught up on the like. I can't take any of it seriously. I agree with you. That's a cool plot device, but I don't. Why are we even still talking about Night Watch?
Oh, I can't wait to talk about it in the future if it becomes a movie. We also got some video game news as far as Marvel goes. Some trademark applications and copyright applications seem to suggest that a Secret Wars video game is in development. Are you on board for that, Spence?
Excuse me, I had to yawn because I was thinking about the inevitable revelation that it's a mobile game.
I mean, man, they are doing their initiative that they announced like last year to make good, big fucking games.
Yeah.
And step away from mobile games.
How much have we heard about the Avengers project?
I mean, nothing.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I still.
But we have seen a lot of the new Spider-Man game.
That's true. That's true.
And
I
that
guess when it
seems
comes
have been getting some very serious development. So I mean, I don't think
even
that-
though they've openly dedicated themselves to it, it's a nice thought, but I'm still holding out hope a lot of times because like there's just so much money to be made in mobile, and it's been so long since we had a good licensed Marvel video game.
I think that the new Spider-Man is gonna be really good. It looks fucking awesome.
I guess I should take Spider-Man out of that conversation because
But Spider-Man is a part. It was the first game announced in their initiative of working with real good developers to make real games again.
I didn't know it was a part of that. I thought they already had that deal with Insomniac.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
That was the first one, and then the Avengers project with Square or with Crystal Dynamics. So no, I mean I think that it's 50-50. This could be a real game and not just a mobile game.
Yeah.
If we had this news like 2 years ago, I wouldn't have even paid it another thought.
Sure, I guess you're right. I should give them the benefit of the doubt.
I think that the Secret Wars is a cool setting. Either one, like the more recent Secret Wars or the original 80s Secret Wars, is a cool setting for like an Injustice style, like straight up fighter. Because the plot allows for you to have every fucking character under the sun and different versions of all those characters even.
Think there's room for that with Marvel versus Capcom?
I don't think that Marvel is too invested in Marvel versus Capcom.
Neither do I, but I mean, is there enough market share for 2 fighting games involving Marvel characters?
I think that there's room for Marvel to want there to be only one successful Marvel fighting game.
That's true.
And that be the one that they own and control.
Yeah.
They just
That's
license
fair.
out the rights. That's a Capcom game.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's already getting really negative reviews and stuff. So,
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And meanwhile, Injustice 2 is really popular. So I think that there's a real possibility that they're like, hey, let's just go all in. How about instead of just letting them use a couple of our characters, we say fuck it, and we just use all of our characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I could see it.
So, I mean, and again, Secret Wars would be perfect for that because the plot of Secret Wars, for those that don't know, at least the original 80s one, is literally the Grandmaster gets fucking all of Earth's villains and heroes, puts them on a world called Battle World, and makes them fight to the death against each other. Like, that's it.
Okay.
So, like, I mean, you know what I mean? And in the more
Incoming MOBA.
yeah, true. in the more recent Secret Wars, it was a little bit more in depth than that because it also involved like alternate versions of characters. So it wouldn't just be like Spider-Man; it would be like Spider-Man 2029 and Spider-Man in a mech suit in this alternate universe, and it allowed them to create really crazy mashup characters and stuff. And it was also fucking cool.
That's not Nemesis with... Never mind.
No, that's the Batman thing.
I know.
No,
I was
there's
making that joke.
There's literally in
God, Jesus.
in the more recent Secret Wars and Battle World series that came out a few years ago, there's not a single made up character that I thought was like fucking stupid or over the top like that.
Hey, that's good.
Like none of them were too try hard.
Proud of them.
Makes sense. They were all pretty fucking rad, in my opinion.
Thanks to Lord God Doom.
Yeah, all thanks to Lord God Doom. But
Praise him.
I don't know. I think it'll be cool. There's a cool moment like Secret Wars is the one where like they all appear in a base together and like it's all the heroes and then Magneto is there with them
Yeah.
and they're all like, "Why the fuck is Magneto here with us?" And he's like, "Cause I'm a fucking hero, guys. Like, they're gonna destroy Earth if we lose. I really want Earth to not be destroyed."
I've got plans for this place.
Yeah, it doesn't involve humans, but all y'all mutants are fine. I don't know. There's cool moments where you get to see like where people's allegiances lie and stuff like that. As some of the villains also feel like they're on the wrong side and vice versa. But I don't know, man. I'm down for new Marvel games.
I'm into
I
it.
do definitely want to see more about the Avengers project and like let's get some of this. It's kind of like the whole EA Star Wars games. I feel like it's really similar to that. It's like, yeah, we have all these fucking irons in the fire that you're gonna fucking love, and they're really cool. We're not gonna show you that.
Yeah, whenever we get around to it. Here's Battlefront 2.
The sequel to Battlefront, the only other one that we've announced.
Yeah. Good on them, though. They're listening.
I mean, maybe it's a good thing. I mean, maybe like they're putting a lot of time into it, and maybe they're not having any trouble at all trying to come up with good ideas for games and stuff.
I mean, I'm impatient when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I would rather them wait. Not waiting is what got us Battlefront 1.
Yeah.
Yep. Games.
So,
we got games.
The topic this week is games. We'll also go over the games news kind of intermittently throughout there, because it's all kind of related. I mean, we love games. Spencer, do you like games?
I do like games. I've been a fan of games for a long time. Sometimes I'll just play games all day.
Same here. Same here, man. So first off, Mario plus Raving Rabbids Battle for the Kingdom. I think that's what it's called. It came out this week, and the reviews are that it's like really fucking good.
Why did you make that into a good game? Stop it.
It's just the Rabbids I have a problem with,
Yeah.
just because they're we've had this conversation before, that they're the minions of video games. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't know, man. The tactical combat looks really well done, and it's got that Mario aesthetic.
It does a thing where it simplifies XCOM's combat. The only 3 options are that you have a 0% chance to hit someone, a 50% chance, or a 100% chance.
Okay.
So it's a very, very, very...
Can you still miss on a 100% chance to hit?
No.
All right, well, then get that noob shit out of here.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier than XCOM. It's a lot more simplified, but apparently it is also still really, really good.
Well, I mean, it would have to be.
And it focuses more on mobility. Like you're not supposed to just sit behind cover and trade shots. You're supposed to move your people into flanking positions or jump on top of the enemies and stuff like that.
I can appreciate a tactical game with
Jumping.
with a sense of urgency and aggression.
It also, in one of the reviews that I was reading, they had said that in regards to the Rabbids, that yeah, they're fucking obnoxious, but that also somehow like Mario ends up being the perfect straight man to them because Mario has such a lack of a personality.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like one of his defining traits, that they can do their dumb rabbit shit, and you don't laugh at them doing their dumb rabbit shit, but you do laugh at Mario's just like blank face fucking like he's totally not entertained with them,
completely unimpressed.
Yeah, and that becomes funny. It kind of makes me like
don't say it.
I'm close to the point where I'm thinking about getting a Switch like in the near future.
So you can play this one game?
So I can play that and the new Super Mario Odyssey, which the hands-on impressions with that.
What?
I know the
What?
fucking real life New Yorkers thing.
I've been waiting on this turn. I knew it was going to happen. I fucking knew it.
I mean, I knew it too, but
Look, guys, I know
shit,
that the
I didn't know it
graphics-
would happen this
I don't have
quick.
as big of a problem with it as you do. It's just you were gung-ho out the gate. This is stupid. All of this is stupid. None of it could possibly be good.
Yeah.
but basically, I watched.
what he does.
I know. I watched Tim Rogers' video on Kotaku, and he was talking. He went in such beautiful detail about the jumping mechanics, and like that's what makes it shine, man.
Yeah.
And he called out Super Mario Sunshine and compared it to that, and that means a lot.
I do remember you watching
because
that.
Super Mario Sunshine is like low key. Maybe a better platformer than Super Mario 64.
I missed the boat on that entirely.
There are levels that are infinitely more challenging than anything you'll see in any other 3D Mario game, like far and away. And the jumping is so tight, and because of the dumb fucking water pack, you have access to an even wider like array of movement and jump mechanics.
Yeah.
That like it is some grade A primo choice fucking 3D platforming.
Yeah, you got to
challenges.
get rid of the goop. I understand. I'm on board.
The levels that I'm talking about, actually, you don't even face the goop. There are like kind of bonus levels you go into that like are just hardcore platforming challenges.
Yeah, I've
and there's
seen
like
it.
no ground beneath you and stuff.
I understand as I've gotten older the respect that game carries. It's just when I played it as a kid, I there's no way I gave it a fair shake when I played it when I was younger.
Yeah, and I'm in love with the idea of like Mario almost as like a puzzle game. Like, I mean, I feel like that's
see
whenever
that.
the platforming is at its best. It puzzle and is like how efficiently with the jumps that I have access to can I, reach this point A from point B or what have you. You know what I mean? There's something really, really cool there. So yeah, I'm a little bit excited about it. I'm thinking about getting the Switch. And there's some other games. The Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. They showed that this week. Or talked about it a little bit. That was announced. It's been a long time since No More Heroes 2.
Oh yeah,
It's been like almost 10 years, right? Something like that.
had to have been.
And that this one is being directed by Suda51, who was the director for the first two as well as the game Killer 7, which was really good. I never really liked No More Heroes. I played the first one, I think, on the Wii. I couldn't get past the mechanic for recharging your fucking beam katana. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
You like fucking jerk off the Wiimote.
There's a little waggle.
I never played this, so
So it's like it's a cell shaded game. All of his games are like cell shaded art. Killer 7 was as well, but I mean, would you say that Suda51's comparable to like Hideo in his like just the number of crazy ideas that he gets and he puts them all into the same game?
Yeah.
And it's better and worse because of that.
Yeah, the colloquialism that I used when we were gathering all of the news prior to recording was that he just has some of the biggest balls when
Yeah.
it comes to what he wants to do with his craft.
Yeah, like No More Heroes. Dude, part of the plot for that is like you play this guy named Travis. Travis Touchdown is his name,
wow, okay.
and he's like
Football
Just go with
guy.
it, Christina.
he's a hardcore anime and like luchador wrestling fan. And
Okay.
he like lives in this apartment with all of his anime and wrestling posters and figurines and manga and stuff.
Sounds about right.
He spends all of his money on an online auction for a beam katana, which is basically a lightsaber. And then he wins the auction and is attacked by the world's like 11th ranked assassin. Okay?
Why the 11th ranked assassin? Like,
Because he kills the assassin in defense and then finds himself in the position of the world's 10th ranked assassin or something like that.
And that draws
why
attention.
would he not be the 11th?
I know, I guess
Because
he is. No, he is the 11th because you have to then kill the 10 strongest assassins, and that's like the setup for the game. Is he
Okay.
he's broke and he needs money, and he realizes that he can make money by being the world's best assassin.
It's all ridiculously over the top.
That sounds
Right.
stupid.
and like you.
And it sounds like a game
If
that I
it
don't
took
care
itself seriously, it would probably be
you,
stupid.
You recharge your life.
Okay,
Yeah, right. It
all right,
doesn't.
so it doesn't. Okay.
But then they throw really heady stuff in there at times. Like, so you recharge your use the Wii right? Like the Wiimote. You recharge your lightsaber by really like putting it fucking down here like it's your dick and cranking one out.
No.
And that like charges the battery, and the character does the same thing. And you see like the beam grow like it's a big dick, and it's like, big hilarious dick joke. Thankfully, this game doesn't take itself seriously. And then the second to last bad guy goes on about how she was sexually abused by her father, and that he's the real villain. So for sure, it jumps between crazy extremes.
I'm working some stuff out, okay? This is in the game.
Lord.
And it's like what the fuck, dude? How am I supposed to take this? Ultimately, but regardless, this newest one I think has a really cool premise. Travis Strikes Again is Travis Touchdown, along with the main bad guy, who I think is the father of the girl who was sexually abused, so he was the one doing the abusing, get sucked into a video game console and have to fight through worlds based on 6 real-life indie games. So it's like Kingdom Hearts meets No More Heroes, I guess. Suda51,
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, Suda51 said that it is inspired by Kingdom Hearts, and that ultimately what he finds interesting is that each of these worlds follows the rules established in the real games, and that Travis has to play by those rules. So whatever that means, I mean, presumably like drastic changes in just the base gameplay mechanics.
Yeah,
is kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, probably.
The 2 worlds announced so far are a Hotline Miami world and a Shovel Knight world.
Okay.
Both of which sound like fucking rad as hell to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm down. More Hotline Miami all the time in fucking anything. I'm a huge fan of it. Shovel Knight, obviously, also cool as fuck. Shovel Knight is like... I was thinking about this the other day. Shovel Knight has, like, 4 or 5 different versions now, right? Like, I mean, tons of them. And they've done, like, big DLCs with new characters.
They got the Plague Doctor now.
Yeah,
and,
they have their own. They've had multiple sets of amiibos. I think they're the only non-Nintendo character to get their own amiibos.
Yep.
And also, they have appeared in a bunch of other games. There's been.
In Ukulele.
Yep. Shovel Knight's a character in Ukulele.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yep. He's also was announced recently in one of the up and coming. There's a couple of like Super Smash Brothers inspired games on Steam right now that are like indie games that are basically like, now that Melee is kind of on its way out and Smash 4 is middling in its support, they're trying to get one that's like solid on PC that can be updated. Everybody or multiple indie developers think that they can capture that magic.
Yeah, they want to.
Which is a good idea in theory. I don't think they'll ever obviously even come close to topping the success of Melee. I don't think it'll ever fucking die. But
no, doubtful.
But one of them that I saw and had a trailer just like a week or so ago that also added Shovel Knight to it as one of the characters, along with the dude from Hyper Light Drifter.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good get.
Yeah, I think that it's cool that like the indie developers are starting to get such success that there's even a draw for crossovers like that.
Yeah.
And that by the nature of being indie developers, way easier to get that shit done.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can just consolidate your talent and collaborate on whatever you want.
Yeah, like if another developer is like, hey, can we put fucking Shovel Knight in our game? How many people have to say yes to that decision? You know what I mean? Like a handful of people, as opposed to like, hey,
the entire corporate monolith.
Can we put Sonic the Hedgehog in our game? Like, almost definitely the answer is no.
And if the answer is yes, we're going to spend 3 years figuring out the logistics.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think that that's really cool. Just as a weird thing to think about, I guess.
No, it's great.
We also, an interesting article I read, Gearbox's CEO said that the art style of the Borderlands franchise put a ceiling on its success.
The first step to solving any problem is admitting that you have one.
Yeah.
It's, it's weird. When I was reading this, I was reading a Reddit post about this interview, and someone brought up what seems like a good point, because he was like, the CEO went on to say, like, nobody wants, or there's a limit to how many people want a cartoony game, like want to play a cartoon as a game.
Yeah. And
someone's response to that was like, yeah, right. See, the piss poor success of Overwatch and Breath of the Wild.
That's not the same.
Very different.
That's
in
like,
my opinion.
Yeah. God, I really liked Borderlands, but my god, it was a fucking ugly game.
Yeah, it is not that it's cell shaded, it's that it's very bad looking cell shading.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many way too thick outlines and
Yes.
black in that game, and like, I only ever played it on console.
The details are very, very off-putting.
It kind of hurts
Yeah.
my eyes to
yeah,
look
that's,
at.
That's the main thing. Like, I feel
It's,
like it's
like,
at,
garish.
yes, it's very garish. It looks like it's running at a way lower resolution than it actually is.
Yeah.
Comparing it to Breath of the Wild doesn't make any sense to me. I don't
I mean,
know.
they're both
Comparing it to
cel-shaded.
Overwatch either.
They're both cell shaded.
But that's a blanket statement that doesn't.
I'm just
It-
saying.
it's
I mean,
not-
I get where the guy's coming from. He's trying to defend all cell shaded games. That's
But-
fine. Whatever.
Well, you know me. Wind Waker is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
but-
and that's also good cell shading. I mean,
Yeah,
in my
yeah.
opinion, I mean, I think that's what it boils down to is that he's thinking that there's nothing wrong with cell shading, and he's right. There isn't anything wrong with cell shading,
But
he
that
isn't-
style just
isn't okay with the fact that like those games look like fucking dog shit.
It was bright and muted at the same time.
Right,
I don't understand
yeah.
how they were able to pull that off.
When you just look at the screen, I mean, and a good game design, colors and details should tell you things about what's happening on the screen on like a base level, right?
Yeah.
Like threats and, like the pathway to move forward and like, items in the game world.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot that goes into that visual design. And I feel like there was just no fucking thought put into it with Borderlands.
With
in
how
that
they
regard.
present information to you, yeah.
Yeah, visually. I mean, everything is just like there at once, and it's very hard
Yeah.
to decipher it. But that being said, it's a cool base game. And
The idea of a shooter loot fest is
like a Diablo style shooter is
Yeah.
cool. It is intrinsically cool, and I think that kind of Destiny scratches that itch, for sure. And Borderlands 3, what they've shown off of it, it is a much, much more like reined in form of that art style.
Yeah.
Did you see any of their presentation? From,
I haven't seen any of it.
I think it was like last year's Gamescom. They showed what they can do with that style in Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah.
It looks a lot nicer. Like one big thing is
Well, that's good.
much finer black outlines, which goes a long way towards helping.
It certainly does, yeah.
So I don't know. But as far as good cell shading goes, Dragon Ball Fighters obviously looks fucking gorgeous. And they shut off some footage this week of some of the team ups, like because it's like Marvel versus Capcom, the older ones, where you have to pick like 3 characters to go into a fight with, and depending on who's in your party, certain moves can put together certain combinations in really cool fucking like fan servicey ways.
Yeah.
I know when we were talking earlier, I told you about Android 18 has an attack where is 17 her brother, or is it 19? I can't.
No, it's
I
gotta
get
be
them mixed up,
17.
dude.
It's got to be 17.
There's the big green one with the red hair. That's 15, right?
I thought so.
And then 16 is the one that looks like a clown. And then 17 and 18 are like the brother and sister.
Yeah.
Okay. So Android 18 and Android 17, Android 18 is a playable character, and she has a move where 17 comes out and like is like right next to her and mirrors her moves, which is like a thing that happens in the anime. But if as part of your 3-character party you have Krillin selected, he comes out and does a different set of moves instead, which is fucking awesome because they are married and later in the series whenever Android 18 becomes good.
And I'm a firm believer that DBZ, part of its success is about the interpersonal relationships between the Z fighters and even some of the villains.
Yes.
So like that level of attention to detail, in addition to this being a lot more stripped down of a DBZ fighter than we've ever seen, really, I cannot wait to play this game.
I know, dude. I mean, just think about the possibility of like Gohan is absolutely gonna have a father-son Kamehameha attack.
Yep.
Think about something like Trunks with Vegeta on his team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want the fan service moment, like whenever Vegeta finally, it's the only time he goes like Super Saiyan 3, right? Because he sees Goku or Super Saiyan 2, because he sees Goku do it, and he knows it's too bulky and it's not the way to go.
Yeah.
When he's training, but then Trunks gets fucking smacked down by Cell, and he goes ape shit, and finally is like, that's my son, and has that moment. Mm-hmm. Like, I want to see that in the fucking game, dude. I want to see, I want to see Gohan and Piccolo have a cool fucking interaction. You're totally right. Like, a big part of what makes DBZ so cool is that yeah, it's a lot of monologuing and it's a lot of just extended fight scenes and powering up, sure. But when you do get those moments of like a very truly great fucking interaction between the characters, it is like it can be incredibly fucking emotional.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's cool to fucking see that in the game. How much do you love Dragon Ball Z, Christina?
I don't.
Don't even let them get the words out.
I've been rolling my eyes over here the entire time. Like, I don't care.
I played the beta for Destiny 2 on PC this week.
Yeah.
The open beta was out. What did you think of it?
I thought it was. I mean, there was not any content, but I thought that
was like 2 missions,
which is
a strike, and
which is fine.
2 multiplayer
It's a beta,
maps.
but I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, you're sold on playing it on PC now.
Yeah.
Looked fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh man, it looked so good.
And what did you think about being able to use like a mouse and keyboard, like the PC
fucking
Master Race and
yes.
10s with that
Thank God.
previously console-based shooter?
Yeah. Yep. Sold.
I thought it was
Got
really
me.
cool. There's a lot of stuff though about the game. Like, what did you think about the? Did you even notice that in the PvP matches they changed the team size? It's only 4v4. It wasn't 6v6.
Oh no, I didn't notice it, but I'm okay with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe they'll have 6v6 as an option. No, they're not.
They've confirmed no. All PvP is 4v4.
I'm okay with it.
So
I'm not too bothered by it. I wasn't bothered by it when I was playing it, so.
Here's my thing. I didn't notice it as being like negatively impacting my play in any way, shape, or form. But it also, the maps were smaller to make up for
exactly.
it. But it seemed like there's no difference between it being 6v6 on larger maps and 4v4 on smaller maps. You know what I mean? It didn't make the gameplay any better either. And
I mean, I don't know where
team-
you're coming from, because
I'm
okay.
going somewhere.
All right.
Right?
Okay.
I feel like I said, 4v4, 6v6, large or small, they're both the same.
Right.
Because they're balanced for each other.
Yes.
So it's not an improvement. But a fire team is 3 players.
Yes.
When you do a raid, it's 6 players. Right?
Okay.
So the whole idea is you play this game with your friends. You're partied up, you and 2 other people in a fire team. You can do all the PvE single player content together, just the 3 of you. If you go into a raid,
I get what you're saying now.
it's your party mixed up with one other 3-person party, right? So there's a lot of cohesion that gels there. But
I get what you're
now when you go
saying,
into
yeah.
PvP, it's a 3 stack with 1 rando. Like,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, so that makes sense.
I feel like it's going to lead to less teamwork and like less cohesion.
Yeah, especially if, yeah.
I mean, think about like how effective it is when you have someone with a headset, right?
Oh my God, so effective.
You're going to run into so many situations where, yeah, the 3 of us are working together, and
But that 4th player is off.
yeah, the rando it
jerking
picks
off,
up is
like,
not talking, is
right.
going off and getting killed, is not working together with anybody. Like, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts in regards to that? Just confusing, I feel like, gameplay change.
I'm gonna have to play it for myself. I didn't play much.
Yeah. The other weird thing was that I don't know if I agree with it is the weapon types being recategorized. So if you noticed, shotguns and sniper rifles are now considered heavy weapons along with rocket launchers.
Yeah, I did notice that, and that was very.
Yeah, you don't spawn with ammo for them. You have to get them in the
It
ammo
fucking
drops.
pissed me off.
It's like, what's the point? So basically, it boiled down to everybody was just using hand cannons or assault rifles.
Right. I did not like that.
Yeah, there was a much less variation.
That I did notice and was like, well, that's dumb. Like, why did you do that?
Yeah, and to have the 3, you have the primary weapon, your secondary weapon, and your heavy weapon. The secondary weapon category is the same as the primary weapon category. Like, so people run around with like 2 hand cannons and 2 assault rifles as their primary and secondary weapon. Is fucking weird. I don't know why you would like. Why not just rebalance those weapons? Because I feel like the only reason to do it is that, well, sniper rifles and shotguns are overpowered, right?
Yeah.
So fucking rebalance them.
Right.
Or,
Exactly.
here's the thing, in Destiny 1, they were already considered secondary weapons, which use their own independent ammunition, so just lower the amount of ammunition you get for them.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I thought it was pretty fucking weird. But other
Let
than
us
that,
give you ideas for your games.
yeah. Other than that, I thought it was pretty cool. Now there's the whole ongoing debate about the aim assist. What's your hot take on the aim assist, Spencer?
My hot take is that aim assist existing when you play with a gamepad is not a problem as long as it is a slight, acceptable aim assist. That I mean, it exists on console for a lot of games because it's necessary, because you can't hit that precision of a keyboard and mouse. And the whole idea of aim assist is that you still can't hit that precision of a keyboard and mouse, but if you happen to get, I don't know, a couple of millimeters within the area of where you're trying to hit, it'll give you that nudge that you
Right,
need.
it snaps to the target.
Now, as I understand it, the aim assist that we're talking about specifically to Destiny 2 is closer to an aim bot as we know it than it is an aim assist, which presents
Really?
just tremendous
I guess I haven't seen
problems.
anything about this.
It's pretty fucking heavy-handed. So you know aim assist exists on all consoles, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because
and it doesn't
fucking
Because
noobs,
controllers.
plebs,
Right, is not as accurate as a keyboard and mouse.
I don't have a graphics card. God damn it.
pleb.
But it doesn't exist on PC shooters, right?
Right, because
Except-
we don't need it.
Except that it did in Destiny 2's beta.
Did it?
If you plugged in a controller, and like pro PC gamers were doing really well with the keyboard and mouse, and to test it themselves, tried using a 360 controller, an Xbox One controller, and did even better with
What?
the controller because of how heavy-handed the aim assist is.
Oh,
And
that's a problem.
yeah, that was something that was in Overwatch's beta, and they took it out before the game launched.
Good on you,
officially.
Blizzard.
Because they realized that it was bullshit and could be abused. Because the real problem is, through software or hardware like the Zim device, which lets you play a keyboard and mouse on a console, you can use it on the PC. You can make your PC think that you're using a controller when you are actually using a keyboard and mouse. So it turns on that aim assist
Oh, that's fucking bullshit.
while you're using a keyboard and mouse. Yeah.
That is totally bullshit.
The only comment that Bungie's made about it was they said on a forum post, "We expected that this would be a point of debate, and we will be monitoring the discussions closely."
Okay, so
The easy solution that a lot of
is
people
to
have
fucking take
suggested-
it out.
No, not even that. The easy solution that a lot of people suggested is take it out of the PvP modes. Keep it in for PvE. If you want to play with a controller with your buddies who are using keyboard and mouse, the aim assist helps you be more accurate. It's all PvE. It's not ranked stuff. It's not competitive stuff. That's fine. That's fucking fine, man. Have fun with the game.
I don't know why you would want to use a controller.
There are
playing PC.
some people that do.
Oh,
Is
well,
the
that's.
point.
I guess that's fine, but I don't know why you would want to. I don't understand that. But
That's a good argument. My favorite argument against it at all that I saw on Reddit was some guy saying, "Hey man, if you want to use a controller, that's fine. Use a controller, but the game shouldn't be developed with that in mind when the intended input device is a keyboard and mouse."
Right.
Exactly.
And someone else was like, "Who are you to say what the intended input device is?"
you're playing fucking PC.
And then he came back with, "You don't see me complaining because I don't have enough aim assist to make it practical for me to use my fucking steering wheel or my Dance Dance Revolution mat or my joystick and throttle HOTAS." Like, come on, man.
That's my whole thing, is that you made your choice.
Yeah.
Like, you've already made it, and that's...
I think it's fine to, like I said, to allow it in PvE.
I'm not screaming for Microsoft to make me a fucking Xbox One compatible keyboard and mouse peripheral. Like, that's because I bought a fucking console.
It will. I mean, ultimately, the biggest
Right.
point, like, if people were using controllers, I didn't really notice it. I did pretty fucking good in the PvP matches I played.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty competent keyboard and mouse player. So I don't know that it's so drastic that it ruins the experience, but a very good point that was brought up is if it launches on PC with those things intact and they don't remove it, at least for the PvP, there's zero chance that this game ever has any success in any sort of like a serious competitive setting.
Oh,
Right,
yeah, absolutely.
absolutely.
Like just absolutely not. It's dead in the
there's
water.
fucking no way.
But I mean, is the PvP really the main point of Destiny? I don't think.
No.
I had a lot of fun with the PvP, and
But that's not why I play that game.
I couldn't honestly tell you what the point of Destiny is.
it's to go through the PvE stuff. It's like a loot shooter. It's the same as Borderlands.
Yeah.
I feel like ultimately it boils down to, it's teamwork, different abilities, taking down bosses that are big fucking bullet sponges to get loot, to go take down tougher bosses with your friends.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
way
fun if you play it with friends. Same as Borderlands. Borderlands, I feel like fucking sucks if you play it by yourself.
Also, it would Borderlands is intentionally designed. Like, I imagine it would be the same as Destiny, that there's a lot of content that you cannot access.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. You can't do a raid one man. Well, some people do break the game and have done one man raids.
Well, even in Borderlands, there are, like, quests, there are world bosses, there are stuff like that you need at least 2 people.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's the point of the game, ultimately. We also, some Overwatch news. D.Va got a little bit of a buff. It's kind of what we were suggesting. Her on the public test server, her cooldown on her defense matrix, well, not her cooldown, but the rate at which her meter builds, was reduced by 25%. So the
rate was increased. The time it takes was decreased.
Yeah. So her usage of the ability was cut in half. Now it recharges a quarter faster than it did. I mean, I feel like it should be 1-to-1, like it should be 50% faster, but...
Or give her another 200 armor.
Yep, that works as well. Maybe just give her 100 armor now, or, you know what I mean? But,
yeah.
But it's nevertheless...
It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's definitely a big step in the right direction. Anything to help her survivability, even just a little bit more, to help her get out of a situation when she needs to.
Well, there's an argument to be made for using Defense Matrix as a flicker shield, but but there's just still no way to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
I mean, there's more of a way now. I mean, ultimately, it comes down to not having it when you need it. And I feel like, now you're going to have it 25% more when you need it. You know what I mean? It's going to be up for use to block a quick ult or something like that. So we'll see how it goes. They put all the changes live except for Mercy and D.Va. So clearly those 2 characters are not where they wanted to be yet, whereas they were okay with all the changes to Orisa and pig farts and fucking the Joker with his mines and stuff, whatever.
I like Roadhog's buff actually makes him really hard to kill in a 1-on-1 or even 2-on-1
He was always hard to kill. Yeah, now he's like goddamn
extra hard to kill.
Everybody shoot him.
In free-for-all deathmatch, I'm always like, fuck, somebody else deal with this Roadhog.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah, he does kind of become a character now that you just like you try to kill everybody else first and just avoid him.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I didn't expect to feel much of a difference because of those Roadhog buffs at all. But now I don't know if I'll go back to being a Roadhog main.
No, I forgot you were a Roadhog main.
I was a Roadhog main, yeah. And right at the end there. But he's fun in a TDM or a free-for-all deathmatch standpoint. He's definitely a lot more fun.
I think Justin always insults people that pick. I mean, not like to their face and stuff, but he always gets
sometimes
upset
to their face
when we play together against Roadhogs. I think he thinks that it's still just a terrible nerf into the ground pick, and I've never felt that way. Even after they nerfed his hook, as long as I get a lot of success as Soldier. Just when he hooks someone, I shoot the person as they're coming into him. I'm shooting them.
Yeah.
And as soon as they land, I'm shooting them. They're fucking killed. Same as a one-hit KO. You know what I mean? That's the whole point.
He can't do it by himself, but if his teammates are working as a team as the game is intended...
Exactly. It's not a game about individual glory or individual accomplishment. He can still punish people who get out of position. He just needs secondary DPS to support him in that role.
Yeah. And meanwhile, he's still face tanking because he's so hard to kill, has such a high health pool. He can stand out in front, pull that target in for everybody to focus, and face all those hits. He's still not going to get taken down in the time that it takes for him, with another DPS's help, to secure that kill and then pop his fucking health thing, you know?
Also, a D.Va and a Roadhog body blocking on a point can be really, really useful.
As we've said before, I think there just needs to be a distinction between tanks and barrier tanks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have like 2.5 barrier tanks as far as Orisa and Reinhardt and sometimes Winston, but usually not because they usually use their fucking bubble for themselves and not intelligently cutting off lines of sight to protect their whole team. But But nevertheless, that's not the only use of a tank, is a barrier. There's other
Certainly
uses
not.
as well, and I think that Roadhog fills a very important role.
Well, you got to take away that threat. It's the traditional sense of a tank, I think. Is
Right,
that
it's
you
to
can
draw
take
fire, and he can take that fire for longer than anyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my biggest problem with the Diva nerfs that occurred, is that like she just has no survivability. She can't draw fire.
Yeah, now you
and-
can take her
and
down so
effectively.
quick that she's not able to fill quite any of those roles
Yeah.
in any extent.
And it's not like Orisa where she's a ranged tank and her whole ability to draw fire comes from drawing fire to her big barrier.
Now, as we said, for the main portion of this week's topic, it's going to be the death of video games. It's going to be how they're fucking terrible. All of them are bad now.
They're
aren't they,
fucking
guys?
garbage.
Every single
Garbo.
one. And why are they bad?
I'll tell you why they're bad. Because of so-called downloadable content.
God damn it. This DLC fucking nonsense has got to stop. These
Bye.
microtransactions. The idea of games as a service. How fucking disgusting of a phrase is that?
It's very disgusting.
How about the idea of games as a fucking product? Finish it before you put it on shelves.
I don't even think that's half of the
take
argument
that.
anymore. I don't even... Cause,
Take
'cause
it.
who's to say when it's finished? Like, I don't even...
When it fucking works.
I'll give you that.
When it has an ending and it works.
Yes.
It's finished.
Yes, I'll give you that. I don't have a problem with additional content. Don't
I don't
get me
even
wrong.
believe that
Right. No.
working is part of the finished product.
Not if
No.
it's Bethesda.
Most
Yeah,
of the
but it
time.
should be.
Yeah. Yes.
There was a
Yeah,
day. There
but-
was a time. Do you remember all the game-breaking glitches in Final Fantasy VII, Spencer, that prevented you from ever being able to play it until you downloaded the most recent patches for it?
Man, you know what? That's weird. I don't remember that.
Because it was a finished fucking game. It's not to say there weren't any glitches at all, but it wasn't a fucking nightmare.
The only glitch that I can remember was caused by user error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
You exit that or you turn off your computer. You turn off your PlayStation after you saved your game, but you haven't backed out of the save game screen. That's a corrupted save file.
Bye.
no good.
Yeah.
Um,
I died a little that first time that happened.
but the point is, you know, they used to fucking make full games and finish them and sell them for one price that you paid one time, and that was it, and that was the experience.
Listen.
You know,
I'm
It's
even
like a book.
okay.
You go
Listen,
and buy a book. The whole book's there.
I'm okay with downloadable content, but I am not fucking okay with downloadable content being available the day the fucking game launches. Fuck you.
What was like-
seriously, go fuck yourself.
What was like
Die.
the first game to have day one DLC?
Day one?
Yeah, was it Mass Effect?
Yeah, there was a
I
whole
remember
lot of
it got a lot because it was on. That was the first one that I
Day one
remember
on disc?
On disc DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like they even printed it with the fucking game.
Was it the Shadow Broker?
It was
that
Mass
the
Effect 2, so it had to have been the Shadow Broker, yeah.
yeah. God, how times have changed. You know.
Well, I just think back to Horse Armor and people being so up in arms about that.
Yeah.
And like just how far we've come. That was a cosmetic item, like because usually I'm so conflicted about a lot of forms of cosmetic DLC. I don't like microtransactions. I think
No, fuck
what I
them.
like less is the idea of randomized cosmetic content in the form of loot boxes or loot crates or whatever it happens to be. Like I used to weep for the era of gaming that was all about trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
And now I just weep for the era of gaming where you were rewarded for being good at the game with content within the game. Now you're rewarded with having enough money or enough time to farm and grind, and
Right.
like I don't know, it feels cheap.
I don't have any problem with it. Like I think Overwatch's approach to it is fucking fine. I think it's 100%
Well, that's because
fine.
you get enough in-game currency most of the time to make a few of those cosmetic purchases without spending any additional real money.
Right.
That's what I'm okay
you,
with.
And you get loot boxes that you don't have to pay for,
Exactly.
you know, dropped at a decent enough clip. And also, again, I'm okay with charging for anything cosmetic. It does not bother me at all. I'll have the dumbest, ugliest looking skin in the game if that's the only way to not spend extra money on it. and it means we get new characters and new maps and shit like that for free.
Yeah.
That's if you're gonna do games as a service, I feel like Overwatch is the best example of it.
Dude, I fucking love Overwatch.
And I think
Overwatch
a lot
is
of
the
that
best.
it goes just to is really just an argument for Blizzard's high level of professionalism. Is
Yeah.
what it boils down to. You know, as a developer and as a because they don't really work with a publisher, I think is a lot of why they can do that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's not anybody else really breathing down their neck. Like, yeah, they're a part of Activision now, but they definitely have made it clear that they have their own leeway in regards to the games that they in-house develop.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, the worst, most egregious example of everything bad all being thrust into one fucking game is the Shadow of War. This is going to be the first game since I was in high school that I pirate. I'm gonna pirate this game even if it sucks. I'm still gonna pirate it just to be like, I fucking stole
Stole your game.
I stole your fucking game, you fucking pricks. Everything that they've announced about this game. So Shadow of War is a single player game with no online content.
None.
It's a full price game. So you pay $60 for this big epic single player adventure.
That's a decent chunk of money.
That is a lot of money.
One might say that's the accepted market value of a full single player experience.
Full.
Of a full complete
Keyword full.
game. Now,
Game. Full.
in addition, you can pay $40 for the season pass,
Which
which gives you,
is, pretty acceptable.
I mean,
kind of
nowadays, sure.
For season passes,
Right.
fine.
So, what's the season pass get you? What is a season pass?
I don't know.
I mean,
That's
what do you
DLC.
expect? But what do you
DLC.
expect? If you're
For
paying $40
about a year,
up front for a season pass, you're getting what for a year?
like DLC,
Like all the DLC for a year.
right? All of it.
Right. You don't get all of it though.
You don't get all of it.
No, you sure
Huh.
don't. You sure don't. There's additional DLC that's not included with the season pass.
So what am I paying $40 for?
You're paying $40 for some DLC that hasn't been made yet.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Now, in addition to that, the game contains loot boxes. And you're thinking, we just discussed loot boxes in Overwatch, that's fine. It's cosmetic stuff, right? Doesn't change the gameplay at all.
Conventional wisdom dictates as such, yeah.
Right. Doesn't change your experience
You're
with the
wrong
game.
though.
Exactly, because these loot boxes contain gear and NPCs that assist you in the game that level up and that have abilities and have stats that will affect your gameplay. And you get some in-game currency to get some of the loot boxes with.
Probably not a whole lot though, right?
You bet your
It's
sweet ass
like
not
a
whole lot.
fucking mobile game, right?
It is exactly like a mobile game.
God.
Except it's a mobile game that you paid $60 for, plus maybe a $40 season pass. Maybe you paid $99 for it because you wanted the bonus digital deluxe edition.
For some
That still doesn't get you anything, really.
That doesn't get you everything. Certainly not. There are,
Basically, fuck off.
and I mean, it's gotten a shit ton of hate for all of this stuff. And then this week they announced their DLC for one of the executive producers who had passed away was turned into a character in the game. What was it? Was it Foghat, the Orc Slayer?
I believe so.
Who is a character that comes in and saves you whenever you lose you remember the clashes from the first game?
Yeah.
If you lose a clash, which is normally like that's when you die, if you lose a 1v1 clash with another orc, he has a chance, like the mysterious stranger in the Fallout games, to just appear in the midst of the clash and behead the orc that you were clashing with and save you from certain death, which is really cool. He's named Foghat the Orc Slayer because the executive producer was in an in-house band called Orc Slayer, and he attacks with a guitar axe because he played guitar. And it's
Wow, what a cute idea.
yeah, it's really fucking cool when developers make content to honor their fans or
Their coworkers, subordinates, whatever.
yeah, exactly. There's like that temple in World of Warcraft that's made for that guy. I've never played World of Warcraft, so I'm sorry I don't know his name, but I do know that there's a temple area that you can go to that's dedicated to one of the developers that worked on the game.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft has quite a few NPCs too. They're like
based on fans, or like they added Robin Williams to the game.
He played the game, right?
Yeah.
Their Breath of the Wild has NPCs based on
They have that.
why can't I think of his name, dude? The president that passed away
Iwata.
of Nintendo. Yeah, Iwata. There's an NPC base. There's a whole like that mountain area is dedicated to Iwata.
Mm-hmm.
And there is, I mean, what other examples? One of the Borderlands I know has an NPC based on one of the developers that gives you free loot that you don't even have to, spend any money on or anything like that. And it's like above your level loot. Like if you can find his area, he gives you like real good shit.
Yeah.
Overwatch also has.
Yeah, Overwatch has one of the fans who passed away that played it during beta and passed away before it went live. Is his name appears on one of the spacesuits that's hanging up in the Overwatch's little shuttlecraft.
Oh, okay.
In one of the maps. So all this stuff is cool stuff added to games to honor someone who helped make the game or was a fan and passed away before, they got to see whatever they were working on come to fruition or completion. And it's a really cool way to pay honor to. And what you don't do is charge money for those things. But what is happening with Shadow of War is this DLC character you have to pay money for. And now the video says the proceeds go to the family, which, okay, that's maybe even better than making it free, is allowing people to buy it in order to help the family out of this person that passed away, right?
Yeah.
Wow, what a great idea.
Except the money doesn't go to the family if it's in any country other than the United States.
Oh.
And also if it's in the states of Hawaii, Illinois, Alabama.
The usual states. I'm going to stop you right there. That is a federal and state regulation.
Right.
Through certain regulations and laws that are on the books.
Yes.
You'll see that attached to anything because, for example, WB is not a charitable organization.
Correct.
Half of those states, that's why it can't do that.
I understand. They can't do it because they are advertising a product with a charitable donation.
Yes, they're not saying
strictly a charitable organization.
WB is not a charitable organization selling this product.
I understand that. I understand that completely. That doesn't change the fact that in those states you can still buy this product for money. And now, where does that money go?
No, I'm with you on that. Absolutely.
It goes to fucking Warner Brothers pockets.
Okay, so what's your solution to that?
My solution is release the character, even as paid DLC, if they want to be that greedy, or just put him in the fucking game and not charge money for it, and just announce that, hey, we added this guy to the game, we hope you enjoy it. In addition to that, we are making a charitable donation to the guy's family of a lump sum amount of money. Which is what happened when Blizzard put that guy in the game. They also donated money to the developer's family when he passed away.
Yeah.
When the Gearbox guy passed away, they did the exact same thing because they didn't want to go through the hassle and paperwork of trying to set up a charity or whatever. Or they could have just advertised, hey, also, here's a GoFundMe we set up for the guy. So you can just pay his family money directly.
Yeah.
If you feel the need to do that.
I guess in my mind, this specific scenario is just a bit more touchy because, I have a feeling that this started out as a good idea from the dev team. I always tend to give the dev team benefit of the doubt and let the publishers take the brunt of this kind of thing.
I used to. I don't anymore.
Really?
Yeah, to be really, really blunt, I don't anymore. Because shit has gotten so bad with, where do you draw the lines? Okay,
right.
Think of something, and I get that they're a dev team, that it's very much, there's a development team, and they are working under the crushing heel of Warner Brothers as a publisher who has proven time and time again that they are not a good publisher, right? I mean, they're right up there with EA as far as some of
completely unethical. And
exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of the worst chopping up fucking content and reselling it to you. I mean, you can even see it in the Batman Arkham games. All the DLC for those games are just fucking dog shit. Pay $20 to play as the Joker.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, that's cool, so I can be the Joker and run around Arkham. No, actually, you get to do these this 12 fucking challenge missions where it's just a big square room and you're the Joker and you got to shoot 20 guys before time runs out.
We gave you a mini game that we expect you to pay for.
Yeah, and So I mean I get where you're coming from. It's not like I don't have any sympathy for the developers, but at the same time, think about something like what Bethesda's doing with, you know, where they are the developer and the publisher.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, do you think there's no separation there? Do you think that there's people who made Fallout 4 that are like fighting tooth and nail to try to not get paid mods introduced? Like,
I think it's not unreasonable to think that.
that's I mean,
I'm sure that there are at least some people.
I'm saying it's
but-
impossible
I'm
to
sure-
know where the blame lies in most of these situations. It's impossible to know what kind of behind the scenes politics or behind the scenes
ultimately I think that the blame lies in the product itself, if that makes sense. Because you can't say, "Oh, I hate WB as a producer, but I love Lord of the Rings, so I'm going to buy this game anyway, though I'm morally opposed to the decisions that you're making. I'm still going to give you my $60 plus my $40 for my season pass, plus my $5 for this guy who passed away, even though I live in fucking Canada, plus my $20 a fucking month in loot boxes. But boy, I really hate what you're doing." You know what I mean? Like, so ultimately blame lies in the product itself. Steal the fucking product. Like,
Sure.
Don't fucking buy the product.
But I'm not talking. But that's a straw man. Like, what do you mean the blame lies in the product? We're shit talking.
That's where you.
we're
I guess,
shit talking individuals. We're not shit talking games as an inanimate object. We're talking about developers and publishers, individuals, and their own responsibility. You posited. You said, "Do you think that there are people over at Bethesda fighting tooth and nail to keep paid mods out of it?" Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do believe that. Clearly they're in the minority, or clearly there are a lot of them and none of their pay grade gets to make this decision. But I don't expect people, especially in a downturning industry of AAA games, I don't expect people to make this the hill that they choose to die on. I'm going to quit working on the next Elder Scrolls, or I'm going to quit working on Fallout because I am morally opposed to the financial decisions that are being made above my head. I don't expect people to do that. I face ethical quandaries at work, and I don't leave the building from some moral standpoint of this is the hill
Sure.
that I choose to die on. So I'm very careful in saying this is a shitty business practice, X, Y, and Z people, because I don't know who it is. For all we know, Todd Howard could be embroiled in a gigantic fight with Pete Hines over this. He wasn't.
Right.
He wasn't at the press conference. He fucking phoned it in,
Yeah.
and that was that. Who knows who's making these decisions? And my default is that you would not develop a game from that standpoint to think, oh, this is a way we could make more money out of it. Because that's not how developers get paid.
From like all the DLC and shit like that.
Yeah, they have contracts.
Right.
Sure, they might get bonuses based on hitting milestones of sales, but that's of copies of the game. That's not of DLC. That's not of microtransactions. That's almost always a publisher level way to get more funding out of a game that they have funded.
Right. Now, I feel like there's a distinct... I mean, we don't know for sure either way, but I feel like there's a very distinct possibility that part of the bonus structure for Monolith as far as Shadow of War goes could absolutely be tied to, like, loot box sales and stuff like that. Because I feel like they 100%...
That's a known unknown, yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm sure that they are being incentivized to intentionally develop the game to at least have some level. I mean, they've hinted it as much whenever they announced the loot boxes, and they were like, they had like their frequently asked questions that they published, and it was like, is it possible to beat the game without spending money on loot boxes? Absolutely, it's possible. You know, eventually you can earn anything in the loot boxes in the game itself with the in-game currency. The loot boxes are just a way to skip past content that you might not otherwise want to play. Why would you be developing content in a fucking game that I wouldn't want to play? You know what I'm saying? That's like, I prepared this meal for you. If you pay extra money, you don't have to eat the part of the meal that tastes like dog shit.
Okay, but
Think about, like, we were talking about the Riddler parts in the Arkham games.
Yeah.
So
I would fucking pay money to not have the Riddler pipe in my ear ever. Yes.
Okay, exactly. Right.
Yes. For $5, you can fucking shut him up.
You can cut you.
You can cut him out of the entire game entirely. Yes, but that's like, I guess that's probably where their mindset is. Like,
And that's also a WB game, keep in mind.
no, I know.
Oh,
I
how
think
the turntables.
I think it totally is bullshit. But like, so anything that has to do with racing in a game
Right.
that you have to do, I'm just like, oh my god, I'm gonna not play this game for a while. I would probably pay money to not have to do that, which is bullshit. I
Right.
don't want to do that. I don't want to have like. I don't want them to give me the opportunity to do that.
But my point is that, like you said, the racing sections, those games do not offer the opportunity to pay money to skip those sections in the game.
Right, which is good. Don't give me the opportunity to do it.
Right. So in their mind, they are developing the best, most fun racing that they can. The idea
Right,
is
exactly.
people will enjoy this; they'll have fun doing it.
Right.
But now that you are being incentivized to skip portions of the game, that's no longer the guiding light behind the development, because we've seen it in free-to-play games are absolutely 100% developed to introduce an unfun level of grinding in order to incentivize you to pay money to skip past it.
It's just
which
fucking
makes
mobile
sense.
gaming.
Right.
That's what it
yes.
is. It's that waiting time.
But now they are
Essentially.
applying that to a game that you already paid $60 fucking for.
I
If
know.
that's the incentive for them, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, this is a living for these people. We exist in a late stage capitalist hellscape of a video game industry.
Yeah.
Like that's essentially what it is. It was always going to lead to this point once everything became digital. It was always going to lead to this point because there are corporations at the head of any AAA game that we're going to even be talking about.
Right.
So if it's ultimately a living for these developers, and in order to work on these games that they clearly love working on, like, I don't believe there's a switch in any developer's mind that goes, okay, well, this is what this is what's being handed down to me. This is what I'm going to have to do to make the other parts of the game that I really want to make. But now all of this delicious money. Oh yes, this delicious money.
I
don't
understand
think
what you're saying.
I think you're exactly right when you say that the blame can lie with the product, but like I can't throw the baby out with the bathwater and just think that it's all evil and it's all greed coming from the people who are actually making the games, because they get a parameter, a set outline of what they are to do, milestones that they are to hit, if they even want to work in this capacity.
Sure.
Walk out the door if this isn't what you want to do. If they walk out the door, what's another studio the size of WB that's going to have something like a Lord of the Rings franchise that they're going to work on?
There are plenty of people who have left the big development studios and the big publishers and gone on to make their own independent titles.
Yeah, and
that have seen success.
Yeah, sure, yeah, and then there are plenty of people who leave mortgage companies and make their own mortgage companies and all of that stuff to apply it to our own lives.
Sure.
But that's just patently not possible for every individual. Some people aren't going to have the talent, some people aren't going to have the capital.
I understand that. I'm not placing I guess the burden of a desire for change or a solution to a problem, to something that I see as a problem, on any one guy fucking typing away at his computer, putting in code in the game, or any one person, fucking doing some 3D modeling because he just fucking likes making orcs. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I had read a very interesting article it has been a few months ago, but talking about how, like you said, that the industry is in a decline, and that they were suspecting something potentially as dramatic as like what happened when Atari fucking went under before Nintendo came onto the scene in the 80s.
Yeah.
Where like video games fucking blew up and then we're all but done. Like if it wasn't for the introduction, you may not be aware of that, of like,
And they were too
I
goddamn
took video game
expensive.
history. I know some of this.
Yeah. So you
Yes.
remember, the development for what they were at the time, and then the price and the consoles when they first introduced them, everything got way too expensive.
Yeah.
And the interest just wasn't there for them anymore. And if it was not for the unexpected runaway success of the NES, we probably just wouldn't even fucking have video games today.
I feel
At
like
least not in the
that
capacity
is
that we
probably
recognize.
going to happen again.
That's
If
what
we
this article was
continue,
saying.
yeah, if we
But-
continue down this route of this bullshit paid DLC or this bullshit paid loot boxes and single player games, absolutely it's going to happen.
there are less and less in sales. In regards to, again, it's not the death of the video game industry, but they
No.
were predicting the death of the AAA industry.
Well,
Because there's less and less sales in those. You know, the biggest tentpole, Call of Duty, less and less sales every single year, right?
Yeah.
What was the one that was the highest one? It was like Black Ops 2 or something.
was it Black Ops 2?
I possibly. I don't know, but I do know that at least the most recent 3 have sold less than the one before.
Oh yeah, I think that.
Dude,
that-
the
people-
last one was trash.
Yes, and people are already lukewarm about World at War. Like,
I'm not going to buy it.
which is a game
honestly.
that already came out.
Yes,
War-
that's what I mean. So, I'm sorry, World War II.
No, but I think that's indicative of a problem.
Yes,
You just got it confused with a previous Call of Duty game from a decade ago.
right. People
I'm not going to fucking buy it.
Now, people have played the beta,
plan
and
on
they're
it.
like, I mean, is it better than Infinite Warfare? I mean, I'm glad there's not fucking robots double jumping around, but, like, I really don't care.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I think it's really interesting that the article that I read was suggesting that, yeah, like, the cost of making a AAA game is going up and up and up, and the amount of profit being made off of them is going down and down and down.
Yeah.
And so that's why we see these kinds of business practices is in order to make additional money on the side to help pay for more and more games. But that basically the indie games
Yeah.
they were, saying or hypothesizing would be the future of success.
That's literally what I was about to say
yeah,
just now.
things like Stardew
that's-
Valley.
Yeah.
where literally one guy makes a game that is
Amazingly great. Like, I've put
Right.
fucking 80 hours into
And yes,
that
it
game.
did take
and-
that single guy 3 years to make it,
But that's
it is
fine.
It is
It's so
deceptively
good.
simple.
Yeah, and it is a runaway success, and that guy is now a multi-fucking-millionaire.
Yeah.
The most recent example is PlayerUnknown's Battleground.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's one guy.
Yeah.
He has sold like 850,000 copies of it. I mean, that guy has...
And now there is an industry of people who play his game and get
Yes.
paid to play his game.
Exactly. All because of the work of one person. And you can see his level of persistence and dedication because he tried with H1Z1. He worked
Oh,
on
it's the same guy?
he helped H1Z1 with their King of the Hill mode. he
Oh,
developed the America's Army mod that went on to be DayZ.
Oh shit, really?
Yes, but he didn't do the zombie stuff. He came up with the helping develop like their King of the Hill mode. And then they were like, we're
okay.
going to turn it into a zombie game. And he's like, I mean, that's cool. I really like Battle Royale. That's what I had in mind. You guys can keep using the work I've done on the engine to make your thing. I'm going to go work on H1Z1's King of the Hill mode. And then H1Z1 got bought out by, I think it was Sony. And that turned into...
I don't know.
that turned into a clusterfuck. And then he was like, I'm just going to make my own this time, guys. I'm
Bye.
not going to take anybody's help, actually. I just want to make a Battle Royale game. Can I do that?
And now he can another thing he can do, it turns out, is retire.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, I guess the point of the argument is, and what I mean when I said blame the product is, that people,
Vote with your wallet.
yes, that people need to vote with your wallet, and that is,
I mean,
I think people have a weakness to it. You know what I mean? And I think that there's been, and we've seen even with Steam and stuff like that, there's been a decline in piracy in general in games.
Yeah. And in all things, because people are making it easier to buy their products.
Right.
I
Like,
don't even
on
remember
Steam,
the last
there
time
are-
I pirated a game. I
Stardew
don't.
Valley is such a great example. That guy became a millionaire off of $15 a pop.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
And that's the thing. Do you remember whenever Steam... I remember when Steam first came out, and when Steam... You used to, you would go to the store to buy, Half-Life 1.
Yeah.
And you came home, and you had to download Steam and register a CD key.
yep.
You couldn't buy games on Steam.
Yeah.
And when they first introduced being able to buy games on Steam, everybody said, man, games are going to get so much cheaper now. Because the developers are going to just be able to put their games up for sale, And
We're not talking about shipping. We're not talking about
exactly.
packaging.
We don't need fucking factory workers pumping out CDs. We
Yeah.
can charge the real value of the product, which is more along the lines of 20, 30, 40 bucks. And that pretty much didn't fucking happen.
No.
Absolute. Instead, we got horse armor. You know what I mean? I mean to bring it back,
Yeah.
we got on disc DLC. We got the paid mods that they're doing now, where it installs the fucking mod on your computer.
Which is...
But if you want it or not, it's on there, wasting your fucking space on your hard drive.
Which is fucking horse shit.
Yeah,
Not horse armor, horse shit. Like,
and
That was
it was
shameless.
but
It was
like
weak.
you
It's
said,
fine.
yeah, man, people get to do like the green light thing in the indie publishing, where you get games like. Absolutely, EA could have developed PlayerUnknown's Battleground, and it may be finished by now, whereas it still isn't finished yet. There's still some glitches to work out and stuff.
Yeah.
And it
but
could,
that's
and it
fucking fine.
It may even have achieved the level of success it had right now at $60 a pop, and they'd be rolling in money. But the point is, they didn't do it because they didn't. It was an original idea. And
It didn't fit their cookie cutter pattern of what they expect success
Exactly.
to look like.
Exactly. And it is cool, like what you said, that these games can come up for $15 a pop.
Yeah.
And so I mean, I guess if you play on, like, if you're listening to this and you play on PC, man, I mean, just think about the next fucking purchase that you make, and instead go look for a cool fucking indie game that might scratch that same itch for you.
Fucking go play Stardew Valley, period.
And there's
Do
a
it.
few. I think that there's a few good developers still that make AAA games, if you want to call them that. Like, you know, Blizzard.
CD Projekt Red.
CD Projekt Red is
penultimate
absolutely one of the
example.
best examples. I mean, there is so much fucking content in their games that is good, and when they put out their DLC that they charge, they put out a bunch that's free. Shit that would be like a $5 DLC is fucking free to them, and then they put out a $20, $30 DLC that DLC has more content in it than most games have that come out nowadays.
Yeah.
And since they now own the rights to the Witcher license from the books, they're in talks for a fucking Netflix series.
Yeah.
Like, look at what they're turning this success into. They're turning it into a multimedia
Franchise.
Yeah.
They have the card game. People loving it. I guess.
Gwent. It's stupid fucking complicated. Oh my god, that game
I don't
is
understand it
complicated.
at all.
I think
I don't get
another
it.
really good example is the War of the Chosen for XCOM 2 came out this week. I love how they do their... You know what I had forgotten? Here, Justin used this phrase.
Expansion pack?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's what I was thinking.
I had
Shit,
forgotten
yeah,
the
okay.
fucking phrase expansion pack. Expansion packs were
Hey,
fucking fine.
The Sims
Yeah.
still do expansion packs.
Here, you like this game?
That's fair.
You like it so much and you keep playing it, we're going to extend that out for you. You're going to have a new experience
Here you
within
go.
this game if you so choose to do it.
But you don't have to.
Command and
Right.
You don't
Conquer
have
Red
to do
Alert
it to
2
make- to
Yuri's Revenge.
Yeah, dude. The fucking Frozen Throne.
The fucking Frozen Throne, which when people think Warcraft 3, half the time they think Frozen Throne.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It became... Well, same as... I mean, I think that now you can't even buy XCOM. It's just XCOM Enemy Within.
Yeah.
Right? They eventually did like a Game of the Year or whatever. They
Yeah.
just consolidated it. And I'm sure they're going to do that with War of the Chosen. I mean, my only argument against War of the Chosen really is that if somebody wants to buy it right now and doesn't already own XCOM 2, they have to pay... Actually, XCOM 2 is on sale for $20. The DLC is $40, so they have to pay $60.
Not on console.
Oh, it's not?
No, not that I saw. That could be because the DLC is not technically out on console yet. There might be
Okay.
a price
Oh,
drop next
gotcha.
week when it comes out.
Okay.
But no, I think that's perfect to drop it down to $20. It's like, yeah, $60. This is the price of a full game. You get the base game and the expansion.
And you're
pack.
getting a game and a half.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Of content.
Yeah. Yeah, Fire Axe is doing good shit. Doing good shit.
So, you know, like, just fucking support, I guess, those kind of developers and think about shit. Like, do you really need to fucking play more orc killing? I get it. It's fun.
Yeah.
But maybe, I mean, I don't know, dude. Let's
I was
bring
excited
fucking
about this
piracy
game.
back.
Yeah.
Let's make piracy cool again.
Piracy as a tool for
As a-
change, I'm a big fan of.
As like a form of like civil disobedience.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's the best possible example
Yeah.
of civil disobedience, at least when in the digital age.
Yeah.
I don't know. I made a quip about capitalism earlier, but when we're talking about like voting with your wallet, these things only exist because it's been proven time and time again that the market has dictated that people will do it.
Yeah.
People will pay for this shit.
Yeah. Ultimately, you listeners, you're the problem because you spend money on this shit. So stop it.
Yeah. So we'll push out the list of things that you're allowed to buy.
Fucking ask us on Twitter if it's okay for you to buy this new product. We'll tell you. You know, I mean, fuck.
Just listen to how lovable we all are.
Yeah,
We're fine.
we just ultimately like.
But-
I don't mean to like naysay and like like predict total doom and all that stuff. But I just want like if I ever make the mistake of having children, I want them to be able to grow up and be able to pay for a fucking game and get a fucking game. That's all. And I don't want it to have to be Witcher 7.
I have a dream
You know what I mean?
that these games will not be judged by the length of their life cycles, but of the content of their.
Yeah.
God, Jesus.
For real.
No, but it's already starting. There's a form of civil disobedience that the market has dictated within Creation Club as well. I was looking at Fallout 4 at the mods and stuff like that yesterday.
Oh, where people are putting the ESP files up for free download?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
because
love that
Yes!
shit.
because it automatically installs the content. All it doesn't do is download like the 2 kilobyte ESP file that activates it in the mod loads.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so people are just
Fuck
publishing
yeah.
those
They took the
online.
Hellfire power armor skin. They took the exact Chinese stealth armor skin.
Yep.
In addition to the one that was already up as a free mod, they
Hell
took the
yeah.
horse armor skin, and are just throwing them all up on
Nexus.
But they're available on my Xbox. Like,
Oh shit! No, they're putting them up on their
yes,
on their console.
That's
mod
where
service?
I saw it. I was looking through the
jeez.
mods.
That's way fucking better. I was reading a Reddit thread and they were like, imagine if Bethesda ever has the balls to try to get Nexus mods shut down. Like that.
Oh
is-
my God. I would
turn their
fucking
back
lose
on
my
the
mind.
entire community.
Yeah. That is like the mistake that almost I hope that they make because I
No.
want to see that. No, because that will not work, and I want to see what happens as a response to that. I guess.
You want to
Dude.
see
I want to see that
when
Bye,
they turn
Bethesda.
full to the dark side, but take on an opponent that they.
are not ready for.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so you're going after the PC Master Race, huh? That goes well. Anytime someone's tried to do that.
Yeah, have fun trying to shut down my big giant fucking double J tit mods. It won't end well.
You can take my nudity mods from my cold dead fingers. From my cold dead, incredibly detailed, very soft fingers.
But I don't know. You guys have any closing thoughts in regards to any of this stuff?
Read Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. No, really, when it comes down to it, I think some of this stuff has a place. And I think it's important to remember that there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. That we should reward the ones who do it the right way and punish the ones who do it the wrong way. And there's a good chance that we're going to miss out on some stuff that looks like a lot of fun. But just pirate that instead.
Envision a better future. You know
Envision
what I mean?
a better
and
future.
and have the willpower to miss out on a couple of things until we get there.
I
And don't
agree with
berate
that.
developers for doing stuff that is
No, fuck
perfect.
the developers.
No, excuse me. I was going to talk about like the Mortal Kombat characters coming in. Like,
okay,
like,
yeah, no, that's
don't
fine.
get mad about stuff that you personally just don't like. Like, that's still doing things the right way. That's new content that's been newly developed. They decided to put in the game. You can buy it if you want. You don't buy it if you don't want. Don't let that be the hill you choose to die on.
On Raiden.
Yeah, don't make Raiden the hill you choose to die on. All right? That's not what we're fucking talking about here.
Well, guys,
Basically, excuse me. I'm here too. Hi.
What about your
I'm letting you
adequate
go,
wife?
Go.
Adequate wife. Support indie gamers or indie producers for sure.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they're the shit. Do that.
Well, I mean, most of them.
Most of them are the shit, and they deserve it.
Yeah, I agree completely. just to let everybody know, we're going to be changing up the format, starting with...
Are we changing it again?
Yeah, no, we are, like we discussed earlier. So starting with next week, we're going to be splitting up like the news and the main topic. I am totally going to call it Season 3, though.
Okay.
Are we changing it already to Season 3?
We're going straight to Season 3, guys. We'll see you there next week.
Season 2 is a bit shorter, but you know what? It's sweeter.
Yeah, we're going to have, basically, the new format's going to be, our main point of discussion is going to be a separate upload from just covering up the news. So we still haven't even decided for sure yet, but basically that means we're going to be posting either 2 or 3 times a week, shorter videos. But overall, they'll be like, I think, a little bit longer content.
It'll be more
general.
Content spread out over smaller bites.
Yeah, for sure. So that you don't have to sit through us for 2.5 straight hours.
And
or
we
whatever.
can concentrate on Batwatch for as long as we goddamn well want to.
Oh yeah, no, we'll a whole separate thing just for Batwatch, just like a fucking.
So we're posting 4 times a week
every week until that movie comes out. I think that's a genius idea.
All right.
We'll catch you on the flip side with Season 3 of Geekout Freakout. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. What do they got to do, Spencer?
Oh, they got to bing that bell. Bing it.
Bing it.
Bing that bell.
Smash the like button too.
Oh yeah, smash it.